everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Can everybody hear
What
me here?
up?
Hey
Hello.
guys.
We can hear you and an echo.
Oh,
Have you got
really?
the stream volume? Have you got the stream volume turned up?
Let me see something here. All right. Can y'all hear me now?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah, you
and
just
an
fine.
Good to
echo.
go.
It's still an echo? Okay. Let me see how I can fix that real quick. 'Cause that's
And we've already
always
hit
fun.
technical difficulties.
Always fun. I don't know why there's an echo. That's fun. Wait
Have
a
you guys
minute.
all? Have you guys got your stream volumes turned up? Because in that case,
Yes.
yeah, you might be hearing it
That's
back.
what's happening. There's no echo on their end. I think that you're watching the stream and you're hearing
Oh,
me at
you
the
know
same
what?
time.
I forgot to mute it.
That's okay. Hey everybody.
Let's
Thank
go.
you all for being thank you all for being here today. My name is Zach Frazier, and this is the importance of music and fan projects and fan games. So this panel is bringing a spotlight to the musicians and the singers in the Sonic community. You know, covers, original songs, OSTs. I just wanted to make this panel a celebration of my musical friends who have all inspired me, motivated me, and helped me through some hard times and made me believe that I was worth more than I thought. And also I want to inspire so many aspiring musicians out there who wants to make music for different projects or different things and know that, you're talented enough to do something. You just need that extra push. And that's why we're here for that. So for many people like myself, music is a powerful tool. It can bring people together. It can make you happy or sad. And, music is often associated with certain memories, moments, and feelings. And with video games, music elevates any type of format. Whether it's video games, movies, short films, anything, it elevates it because it brings that type of seriousness or type of happiness that you need in that certain type of scene. So, with that, these people here with me today, we all came from, a cool little canceled series called Misadventures. Sonic
We did.
Misadventures. That's where we kind of got our start in some type of way, at least with getting more different types of roles and things like that with music.
Yeah, that's where a lot of us met each other, at least in this configuration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All of us are friends because of Misadventures, which is a weird thing to say because
And
it's
of-
done now at this point.
The beautiful Mr. Matthew Mannheimer.
Matthew
Yes.
Manford, yes.
He brought us
all together.
He really did bring us all together.
He was the Nick Fury of this group, really.
He really was.
Exactly.
Hopefully the meme Heimer is doing okay right now. We don't know where he is. I haven't heard from him in a while, but I hope he's doing good and everything. But I just wanted to let you guys know I'm gonna introduce everybody and I'm gonna let them say a little bit about themselves to you guys. So first up, we have Miss Jayhan, not Jayhan. I've been getting that wrong for the last 5 years. She got on my case about that, but it's Jayhan.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's Jayhan. It's not Jayhan.
Yeah.
I've learned something today too.
Exactly. So Jayhan, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and everything?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. Jayhan here. And Zach, thank you so much for organizing this, for giving us all a platform to really talk about ourselves and share our experiences. I think it's kind of like you said, there are so many of us musicians out there who maybe are looking for a way to feel inspired to pursue their passion. So, and I'm hoping that with what I have to share, it can sort of, I don't know, motivate and inspire as well. So, so so to talk a little bit about myself, what drew me into music, and I've been singing for as long as I can remember, and I can definitely say that I think I was more exposed to music because of the things that I grew up with, which were cartoons, video games, and movies. And for that reason, for example, Sonic Adventure 2 is among one of my most influential original soundtracks, basically. Especially like the works of Crush 40, where they sort of kind of like shaped me, I guess, as a music artist. for example, you have Jun Sinue's like really rock related works that, helped me like really appreciate and grew my love for rock music. And you have, of course, Johnny Joelli's, like really powerful, strong, and gritty vocals, which I really love. And that in turn kind of always pushed me to, influence me in the way I sang and practiced my songs. So that's why I actually have a very strong chest voice. So yeah, so in that sense, I am more of a singer songwriter. I try to be a music producer, so I still have a lot to learn. And I do want to say that, one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to become a singer is because I felt it was kind of, okay, so it's going to sound a little bit corny, but it was kind of my superpower. So so it made me feel strong and confident, and it was a way for me to channel all my emotions into something. And as someone who grew up in a family that speaks English but moved around a lot in different language speaking regions, so German, French, Italian. For me, it was very difficult to kind of feel like I belong somewhere, to feel integrated, especially since I had to, learn the local languages, learn how to communicate with, my classmates. I was kind of actually the shy kid in my class because I was struggling a lot with communications. And because of that, at some point we had like a music lesson where the teacher lined us up, and each one of us like got a moment to sing on our own. And at that moment, I was actually really praised, like highly praised by my teacher, who recommended that I pursue my singing skills, that I take lessons and just hone my craft. And that's what I've basically been doing. I'm really, really passionate about music. It's what I live, it's what I breathe, and that got me into making covers and as well as original songs that are often inspired by the things that I love: video games, cartoons, movies, what have you. So, um, so I know for quite a few people, they want to get started into music production. So in terms of like how I have my things set up, so I'm in a room where I have like two different setups. On the one side, it is more related to audio production, where I have my microphone and all my recording equipment. I have my makeshift recording booth, which, no joke, is comprised of kind of like three mattresses sort of like layered on top of each other, and it does a good job with absorbing the sound and really getting like some really clean audio, especially when you're in a room that resonates a lot. So, and this is kind of to say that when you're an independent music maker or a vocalist, all you can use some of the stuff that are lying around in your house to really kind of produce actually relatively good quality recording sounds, really. So, and yeah, on the other side I have more on the other side of the room I have my video production setup, where I basically, whatever track I produce, I record it on the other side of the room, which has lighting, a black backdrop, and my camera. And that's how I usually go about, working on my projects. I when it comes to misadventures, we all love to joke about the fact that it's gonna come out in 50 years and all that stuff. But I think the really amazing thing about misadventures is that we sort of became this small family,
Yeah.
that since then has, we still stay in touch with each other, and for me, that was really my first music experience, working in a team. and it taught me a lot about teamwork and a lot about handling, for example, creative differences. I did a lot of solo projects, so for me I learned a lot in the sense where sometimes when you throw in ideas relating to like a song that you're working on, some ideas are great, other ideas can be bad, let's just say that. And sometimes when you believe in an idea that you think is good but actually is bad, you have a kind of a tendency to be attached to that idea, and when somebody rejects it you feel really kind of upset about that.
Mhm.
So, and working with Misadventures really kind of helped me understand, you know, everybody has different ideas, and the fact that those diverse ideas they come together makes something like it helps in really shaping up like really amazing, high quality music projects.
Mhm.
And what comes to mind is, for me, for example, is um let's see, there was the Sweet Dream animation that was done by one of Misadventure's animators, Sonic Pop.
Pox. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And he brought me in to work with Kyle, Kyle, who is also here. Uh,
Sup?
yes, to basically to work on the end credits, which was the Sweet Dream cover. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember
Yes.
who it was again.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
It was a long
Was it
time
Sweet?
ago.
It was a long
Yeah.
time ago.
It was you.
But-
It was you, Kyle,
Yeah,
and
it's been a while.
Charles.
Yes,
Yeah.
Charles Ritz as well. And I remember when I was brought
My
in.
brother.
Yes, there we go. And I remember when I was brought in, and I remember starting like singing the whole song, like including the verses and the choruses. And I remember when we listened to it and we were listening to the verses and we are like, it doesn't really sound as good as it could be. And that's when the idea of switching vocalists for the verses came into play, where Kyle sang the first verse and Charles sang the second verse. And of course, at the time, I think I remember being a little bit uncomfortable with the idea of being replaced, so to speak. But when you listen to the end result, you feel blown away because it increased the quality production of the whole song, and it just sounded a lot more amazing in that sense. So from that experience, I really kind of understood that, bottom line, when musicians work together, people will have different ideas, and you have to kind of always find a cohesive way to enhance the overall project. Some ideas are good, some
Yeah.
ideas are bad. So yeah, and working like collaborating this way has really kind of helped me in the years to come. I've since then I've worked with a couple of you guys here. I've worked with some other kind of like gaming record labels like Materia Collective.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
Yeah,
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah. Big shout out to them. Yeah, and I think, and at the same time, I was working on my own personal projects because I felt it was important to kind of hone my craft in singing and songwriting. So, and like at first, like sometimes making covers, and then eventually focusing more on songs that are inspired by video games and cartoons and animation. And by doing that, I realized that you get really noticed from people from unexpected places. And I gotta be honest, this is the first time I'm kind of sharing this info publicly, because this is something that I share with my close friends, or friends in general, so people in my network. And one of the people that noticed me, so to speak, was, and it was really it kind of really took me by surprise because it was the Hollywood director Guillermo del Toro. So he saw one of my music pieces. So one of my songs that I created that was inspired by one of his music shows. TV shows. And he reached, so it was written, inspired by that show, but it was written in tribute to an actor who worked on that show but passed away. So so he reached out to me and he said that he really liked what I did, and as a result, he really liked what I did, and he said that he, even wanted to consider me to sing in one of his upcoming movies, like a very, very minor and small sort of singing dubbing role. So it was very, very small. But when I heard that, it was a very life-changing experience for me because I had not taken myself really seriously as a music artist. I was doing this, for fun. But when you have someone like that, sort of like notice you and compliment you like that, you start to realize like, okay, maybe what I do is not, maybe what I do is actually decent. And and turns out one of the movies that what he was trying to involve me with was none other than The Shape of Water, which was, one of those Oscar-winning movies, and it won an Oscar for Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Score in that sense. So, bottom line, I kind of owe him a lot because Guillermo del Toro, because of his outreach. Even if I didn't get involved in the movie finally, it really pushed me in the sense that it made me realize when you invest your heart and soul into your projects, then eventually you do get, you get noticed from people from very unexpected places. And, and that alone pushed me into wanting to really improve myself and work harder and just, let music be my lifeblood, basically, so to speak. So, and because of this kind of experience, working with teams and then working on solo projects and that all together kind of like, this was a whole bunch of experiences coming together, and that kind of like gave me this whole new drive. And then eventually, by kind of repeating the sort of same process, I eventually landed the opportunity to contribute some of my music skills to some tracks from Ubisoft's big title games, Watch Dogs Legion and Beyond Good and Evil 2, through a creative platform called HitRecord. Just to quickly explain, HitRecord is this online platform that allows contributors to collaborate and create something together. And one of these big projects was the basically HitRecord and Ubisoft collaboration project. So, and I got involved because they were making music for the sequel of one of my favorite games that I grew up with, which was Beyond Good and Evil. So, bottom line, if you are passionate about music, you gotta learn to invest in yourself. You work on personal projects, and at the same time, you should collaborate with other people, because that, you learn from other people. And normally, I believe that when you make music with other people, that's when music sounds really, really the best. So, yeah, so this, sharing this whole thing for me, I think I struggle, I struggle a lot with, like lack of confidence and all that. But when I work with other people, and that's something I've seen with, Misadventures and with the other people I've worked with, that really helps me in trusting more in my skills and, just having fun with what I do. So, yeah, so that's basically me in terms of my experiences. So one of the songs that I'm just trying to check, how are we doing on time?
you're good right now. Go ahead and go and talk about your song for Beyond Good and Evil, for sure.
Okay, perfect. So, okay, so in that case, I am going to quickly screen share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me just and there we go. Is this working now?
Okay, 1 second.
Oh wait, hold on. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. Let me try again.
Alrighty.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to. Why is it? Let's see. Let's do this again. Ah, there we go. Okay, sorry. There we go. That should work now.
Okay.
Can you see this? Okay, so
Yes.
so as I've mentioned before, one of my favorite games is actually Beyond Good and Evil, and one of the songs that I sort of made is called Beyond the Stars, which is a Beyond Good and Evil song, and it is a sort of like a it's an original song, but in the chorus is actually a cover of one of the themes that was composed for the game. And I just kind of what I want to do right now is kind of just quickly compare a little bit the theme of, because when it comes to songwriting, it's good always to kind of like research the type of music that is written and how you want to kind of match that with what you're writing basically, because, that's how I kind of work. Um, so the soundtrack is written by Christoph Herral, who is, in my opinion, really he's a cinematic composer, but he has a really good emotional musical understanding in how to build like an atmosphere, an ambience, and to combine that with kind of like inspiring storytelling through music. So let me just quickly show you guys the theme that I'm talking about. Ah, there we go. Hold on. There we go.
Remix.
There we go. So that was from the first video game. And so as you can hear when you listen to that track, you can hear a mix between, like there's a chord, like the choir. There are certain strings. There are, a little bit of I could like a harp, and like I said before, the composer really works in a way that he sort of builds up his music. And when I wrote this song Beyond the Stars, this was written like a couple of days after it was announced that there was going to be the second game. And for us fans, longtime fans, we've been waiting for a sequel for about 15 years. So here I'm going to kind of show you like the song that I picked and kind of like guide you in the process of like how I built this song up. Also, I do a lot of video production.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so right now we only have piano going on. And then we have the harp. So here we're really trying to build this ambience.
Your voice never ceases to amaze me, Jay.
Thank you. So yeah, we have some string instruments like cello, contrabass coming in. So deep string instruments.
To pick up where we left off, but the unknown kept me from taking another step into the light.
And then we have more strings, so violins, violas. Percussion. And there's the chorus, taking the theme.
I love the way it cuts out there, the instruments.
Thank you. So yeah, then we kind of like outro the harp, but like playing an octave higher. There we go.
I do always love songs that are essentially one giant build-up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It really I think what really makes it hit more than anything else is the fact that at the end, it all just cuts back to like how it started with like barely anything there, and it really makes it all hit like really hard. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, so that's the thing a little bit when it comes to like, I think everybody has a different way of how they're working on their music projects. For me, it's always kind of like I always try to, when writing original songs, I try to make sure it sort of fits into what it's supposed to represent. And, when, for example, writing lyrics, actually, to be honest, like writing the lyrics, you think maybe at first it's from the point of view of the character in the game, but actually it's from the point of view of the many, many, many fans who have been waiting 15 years for the sequel to the game. So I really wanted to, when doing this song, I really just wanted to try to pay tribute in that sense to, not only the game, not only the composers, but also the fans without whom there wouldn't be like a second game that would be coming up without the demand of the fans. So yeah, I always try my best to put my heart and my, I think like in terms of technicalities, like arranging and mixing and mastering, that is definitely not my strong suit. That's why, I'm more confident in, for example, Kyle or, Joshua, who are, or even Alex here, who are really amazing at, mixing and mastering. I just arrange stuff and I just sing with my voice and I do the instrumental, but, I think that's why, like, I know that if I had worked with other people, I think it could have sounded so much better.
The thing about it, though, Jay, is that it sounds great already. Like, don't sell yourself short here. Like, that was very well done. I mean, we can all, I think we all can agree here that was really well done. So.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind my interjecting,
Sure.
There's something that I think is interesting about that statement, which is that regarding the production quality of a piece of music or any kind of piece of work, I think I think there's a lot of value in production quality and mixing and mastering and all that kind of stuff, that sort of polish to make something more refined in its presentation and allow you to kind of see it in its best light. But I think like more important than that is the work itself and like the core of that, however it may be presented. And so I think if that is solid, then, and if you communicate from your heart what it is that you want to express, that will reach people regardless of the way that it's produced. There's a scene and some of you have seen this, there's an anime called K-On!
Yes.
It's about a group of high school girls who form a rock band, and there's a scene towards the beginning of the anime, it gets reprised later on, where the band performs, and for a member that they're thinking of introducing to the group. Yeah, you know the scene. They perform, and the other student claps and says, "That wasn't very good." And it's very funny in the moment, but it's like I think that's a very profound thing to say. Like, it wasn't a very good performance, but what they tried to express reached her, and that was inspiring and motivated her to join the band.
And
And
passion for it shines through, even if the actual refinement of the performance wasn't necessarily incredible.
Exactly. And so, and I think that's something that, like, when you mentioned being noticed by that director, it's for the same reason. It's what you communicated with your heart reached him, in spite of the whatever flaws might have been in the production. And I think there's a lot of works that you all can attest to having experienced that may not have had the best like production value, but like the
intention and the emotion was still shown nevertheless of how
exactly.
And that's how it was, that's how Del Toro was able to find that and be like, wow, even if you didn't have the best equipment or anything, the emotion was there, and that's all he needed to be like, I really might need her for my next movie. So
exactly.
So do you want to finalize anything, Jay, real quick?
I think like I think I've already spoken enough, but I think the only thing to take away from this is, guys, if you're a music producer out there, collaborate with people, hone your craft, invest in yourself, and never forget your heart in the process.
Hey, that's nice.
Well said.
That's very nice. All right, well, thank you, Jay. We're going to go over to our next person, Joshua Taipale. So...
Hello.
Hello. All right, tell us...
Hello there.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and let's get on with it.
Hi, my sure, I'll open your heart. There we go.
Yes,
so good.
I love that.
My name is Joshua Taipale. I am an alchemist of music. I am a producer and guitarist, composer, arranger. I transcribe things. I engrave. I pretend to mix and master songs. So the fact that Jay complimented that made me feel validated.
What was it that you used to put on your Twitter to say like what it was, what kind of music you made?
What was it? I make cute music and neoclassical punk zydeco rockabilly or something like that.
That's it. That's
it. Let's see. How did I get into this thing? So okay, so Zach and
Okay.
Everybody in the chat's going on about my playing Open Your Heart. Okay, so I'll get to that.
Listen, you just played that so easily. Like, I mean, come on now. Come on now.
I'll get into that. So Zach encouraged me to talk about a bit of what drew me into music, so I will do that. So I will share with you a memory that stands out very vividly in my head, which is that when I was 7 years old, I went to my cousin's house in Upper Missouri, and he had a Sega Genesis. And I had never seen one of these things before. I think it was my first experience playing a game console. And he had Sonic 2 on there. And so he introduced me to Sonic. That was when I became a Sonic fan. And because I had just never seen anything like that before, and it was fascinating to me. And there's this one moment that I remember that stands out very vividly in my head, which is that when we had gotten to Chemical Plant Zone, which is the second stage in the game, the first time I heard the music for that stage, I was just blown away, and I thought to myself, I remember thinking to myself, I never want to forget this. And I never did. It was just something about it just stood out in my head as being something that I had never experienced before. And I was never like super interested in music at that time. And I hadn't, like, it's not as though that like caused me to start pursuing music either. I just had a very passive interest in music for a long time. I was always interested in music, but just passively. I didn't actively like pursue it. But I was always listening to things. And so when I was 14, when I was 14, because he wanted to start learning to play, and I don't know why, maybe out of curiosity, maybe out of jealousy, I started practicing as well, because I thought, okay, this would be interesting. I want to learn as well. And I just kept up at it, and it grew more and more interesting to me, and I started getting into playing. And I've been playing for over 10 years now. But I started getting...
He's amazing.
I started getting into the Sonic Adventure music because a lot of it, I mean, I grew up with the music of Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, all the Crush 40, Jun Sonoe kind of stuff. I love that kind of music. And I wanted to learn to play it. And so I started a YouTube channel because I wanted to share some of my, I started doing covers of songs and I wanted to share them with a couple friends. And I just started doing Sonic covers like all the time. And something that really drove me was to try to make my covers as accurate as possible. And so I would try and learn songs as closely to the originals as I could and replicate them as well as I could. And so like I spent countless hours trying to go over that riff from Open Your Heart. And like try and make it as accurate as I possibly could. Because like any other covers I found online were inaccurate in one way or another. And so, because, I don't know, I just had an obsession with it. And so, but that was all I did. I didn't really have an interest in composing or producing or anything like that until I received a message back when YouTube messages were a thing from General Offensive.
Oh.
And are you here, Alex?
Oh.
I received a message. I received a message from him, and he said that he was a producer. He wanted me to play on something that he arranged. He wanted to arrange something, and he wanted to ask me to collaborate. And so that was a really exciting offer to me to hear. And because I had never really done anything like that with anybody before. And so we talked about it, and we ended up choosing to arrange Lost Labyrinth Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 4. And so he put together this incredible arrangement, and I tracked guitars on that, and that was my first. Oh, go ahead.
Well, to be fair, I wouldn't have done that. Such a great guitarist. Like, you nailed it.
And that was my first experience really like collaborating with somebody, and I have him to thank for. I don't think I would be here in this panel without him, because that was like what inspired me to start like taking on bigger projects and getting into arrangement and doing that kind of stuff. And we actually did, I'll get into this a little bit more later, but we actually did I released a cover album called Imagination a few months ago that is a collection of remasters of covers that I've done over the years. And
It's incredible, by the way. You guys should all check it out.
Yes, go
Thank you.
stream. Go stream.
Go stream.
And I wanted to remaster the Lost Labyrinth cover that Alex and I had done, and his hard drive had crashed years ago, and and so he didn't have any of the files for the arrangement. So I asked if he would be up for like helping recreate it, and he did in like a week. He recreated the arrangement from scratch, and I retracked guitars on it, and I went ham on it a bit, and we so we put that together, and that's I think the second track on the album. So that was a really special one to me to include, because the reason I made the album was that it was the 10th anniversary of my YouTube channel, so I wanted to put together a little compilation of things that I had produced over time. And anyways, so, but that was kind of how I got into doing arrangements, and eventually I through some friends I got into Sonic Misadventures, which was a 3D animated series, Sonic fan-made series that never came to fruition, but we produced a lot of stuff for it, and I was asked to write the main theme for that, which was called Journey On. Zach, are we gonna?
We're definitely gonna
talk about that later.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later.
Okay.
Yes. Sir.
Okay. So that's what introduced me to Zachary and Jay and a lot of these other people. And so yeah, and
Can I interject real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
So, real quick about that. I used to hear about Josh from Kyle all the time. Kyle
It's funny. Oh, go on.
No,
Yeah, go on.
Kyle used to sing his praises all the time about how he had all the Sonic songs transcribed and everything. I was like, this guy sounds amazing. So I was like, when we were asked to work on the intro, and we were like, Kyle was like, we should get Josh along with this too. And I was like, okay. And Lord knows, I was super excited because I heard so many good things about it, and everything Kyle said was right, and many more things. Josh was able to come up with a melody in less than a day. Like when we were talking about it and everything. Well, okay, less than an hour.
It's funny because you say that composition was never something you were meant to get into, but your compositional prowess is something to behold.
Thank you.
Honestly,
It was a weird, like, I don't say that to pat myself on the back or anything. It was just like the scenario that Matt had described to me was very inspiring, and so like it just kind of came together on its own. It's not.
It's funny, it's like-
Sorry,
it's
Zachary, go ahead and continue.
No, that was it. That was it, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah. If I was to extend upon that though, because I remember you said that you started to put just like Sonic covers on YouTube back in like sort of early 2010s, and it's funny because before Misadventures, before I properly met you, I remember going through a similar sort of thing myself and like trying to look up covers because I wanted to learn them myself as well. And I remember finding you did Escape from the City Modern.
Oh yeah.
I remember finding that, and then about 2 years later, getting into a call with you and being like, "Wait, that's you!" And it like blew my mind. And then from there, and that's just sang your praises over and back. But yes, continue.
Actually, I wanted to tell about his Ongaku concept project.
Oh, thank you.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Ongaku
Ongaku Concepto. It constructs music heard in video games. I've never seen such a channel do this, to the point of like actually explaining music theory. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Just check it out. Just Ongaku Concepto.
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel that I do not update quite as frequently these days, but it's called Ongaku Concept. I started it in July, I think it was the 16th, 2014. It's a YouTube channel where I discuss music theory, where I dissect songs from anime and video games and talk about the music theory that goes into those sorts of things. Music theory has always kind of fascinated me, and I enjoy understanding how those kinds of songs are put together and the way that they just different ways to conceptualize them and think about them. And it's fascinating to me because music theory is not something that's like, it's not a cut and dry science. It's like there are multiple different models that you can use to understand the way that a piece of music works in different ways. And I think a sort of layman's explanation of music theory is that it's a way of, I like to describe it as a taxonomy of music, where it's like, it's a way of naming and organizing different musical ideas so that you have words for them and you can relate them so that when you need them, you know what to do. And it just helps bring a conscious awareness to what you write so that there's less guesswork that you need to make. It doesn't make the creative process easier exactly, but it makes the technical process easier, which
helps you understand why things work how they do, so you can make more informed decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. So I think I should start talking about some songs that I have worked on.
Go ahead, yeah.
On a music stream, how dare you?
Yes.
As long as we don't get copyrighted by you, we'll be fine.
Yes. You'll hear from my lawyers.
The bailiffs will be around tomorrow.
So there's a project that I have been working on recently called Sonic and Tails R. It is a radio drama produced by Emmy Jones and Dorian Nelson, and it features Emmy Jones as Tails, Ryan Drummond as Sonic, and Mike Pollock as Eggman. The production quality is insanely high. It's a wonderful series, and I was asked to write the main theme for the show. And so I put together a demo. Oh yeah, you can go ahead and play that.
Okay. So please tell us what that name means at the end, Josh.
Yes. Okay, so so after we created the opening theme, so I composed and produced it. I played guitar on it. My friend Marvin Valentine, who I believe is here in the chat, he played drums on it. My friend Luis Almeida played bass. And the three of us have worked together for many years on all kinds of songs. And we've always had a fun time working together. And Marvin approached me about the idea of creating a band of some kind to just have like a unified kind of presence when we make music together. And so we formed a band called Unknown. It's spelled UNON. That's a reference. That's a Toho.
Is that
reference.
a Toho reference? Yeah, I thought
yes,
so.
it is.
Very
and
nice.
The clip you hear at the very end of that video is actually a preview of our arrangement of Blooming Villain from Persona 5.
Oh my god.
That we're working on.
Hey.
I need to contain myself because from what I've heard of that.
And so anyway, so we did that theme, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how I came up with it. So the sort of Sonic Adventure kind of sound wasn't something that had to be very consciously put in, because that's something that we all that's all a part of our sound to begin with, just naturally. Because we all grew up listening to Sonic Adventure music, and we're all huge fans of Crush 40, and so that's just a naturally occurring part of our styles. And but as far as like how I approached the theme, the first thing that I'll talk a little bit about some of the sort of relationship that you have with a developer when you're working on a project like this. So when I was approached to work on this, Emmy sent me a preliminary script for the first episode and a synopsis of the general premise of the show. And
sorry, I hear
the first thing that there were two things that caught my attention. And the first was that there was a big emphasis on teamwork, and it was supposed to be a very those are the copyright sirens in the background. It was supposed to be a very uplifting a very uplifting series, and it was supposed to have just this sort of motivational kind of tone to it. And the second thing that caught my attention was that it was going to be very focused on the Chaos Emeralds as a part of the plot. And so I wanted to write something lighthearted, so I wrote in a major key, and something that's the drum rhythm was actually inspired by Frog Forest from Sonic Heroes. I really like that drum rhythm, and it's a very relaxing kind of rhythm to me, and so I wanted to include that. But as far as like the Chaos Emeralds aspect, so the intro, Zach, can you play like the first few seconds of that again?
Yeah, for sure. 1 second. Here.
If that's not working, I can try and play it from here.
1 second.
Well, that's okay. So the intro riff, which goes like I was inspired by the idea of the Chaos Emeralds being like this sort of I was thinking about the image of them and like the way that they reflect light and everything. And I wanted to have this harmonic glissando to sort of just kind of this cascade of notes to represent that. And then there's just this like that chord there to kind of like bring all that chaos into a controlled, like unified form. And so I wanted to create something that kind of stood out and marked that song as like, when you hear this, you know what it is. And so that's what.
The way you
what
framed it, it's
the
sort of like you've got
inspiration
the it's almost like the emeralds literally coming together into that one
Right,
big
exactly.
chord.
That-
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of like what was the image that was in mind.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about a couple other things, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. But let me move on to a song. I'll talk about a cover that I worked on.
Also, I wanted to congratulate you on how close you got the sound to the Sonic Adventure area.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just know it's kind of, but even with the harmonics going with.
What did you call that? Is it auto flanging?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
term for it.
Also, real quick,
How June Sonoy of you.
Josh, could you tell everybody what you use? Like, what's the interface you use? And
Oh,
what
yes,
instrument?
so I-
Yeah.
My workstation is Logic Pro 10. That's a program that I use to do all my mixing and producing and arranging, all that kind of stuff. I use a Focusrite Scarlett 6i6 interface, and that's what I use to plug in my microphone and my guitar. I amp my guitars with bias effects by a company called Positive Grid.
You're still using biased. Good lord.
yes,
They've
I
served
am.
you well.
And I have a few guitars, but my primary one is a PRS SE Torero, which is the one that I'm using right now. PRS makes wonderful guitars. I have convinced more than a few people to buy one of these guitars, and
The reason PRS is my main guitar is purely because of you.
Josh has
They're
great
wonderful.
influence on people, so.
PRS, let me be a salesperson.
Sponsor him, please.
Yes. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about a cover that I did
Okay.
recently. So Zach, can you play that clip?
Yes, I will play
should be in
both.
there.
Yes. 1 second.
Favorite pedals? I don't really care for pedals.
we don't do that here.
Yes, Oblivion. So this is a cover of a song from Final Fantasy XIV. The song is called Oblivion, and it's the boss theme for Shiva.
And it's playing right now.
Staring at death, I take a breath. There's nothing left. Now close my eyes for one last time and say goodbye. Lying naked while the snow falls all around me. Drifting close to the edge, but she won't have me.
Friday, Josh?
Oh, Jesus, that's so good.
Yeah, so that thank you. Um,
But
that
can I say something
okay.
real quick about
Yes,
that?
go ahead.
So I just wanted I don't want to be like, hey, I'm in this or not, but I am in this with Charles Ritz and
Yes.
Garrett
Same.
Williamson. We are all in this and we are doing background vocals. You can see Charles in the comments saying, "Let it all go," and that's what we did in the thing. So.
I played the bass on this.
Oh,
He
and
did.
yes, Kyle played too. See, we're all doing stuff together, always doing stuff. I didn't even know that. So, oops.
And back comes the theme of collaboration.
There you go.
So
This
so
was
this oh, go ahead.
this was the first time I heard this song, and I just want to say that as many times as I've collaborated with you, you bring something new to the table every time.
Thank you.
Like those harmonics. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, it was always so, when I heard that when he was like, "Hey, could you?" Because this was like maybe a week before he put everything in. He asked me, "Hey, could you do a couple background vocals for this song?" And he's like, I was like, "What song?" And he sent me, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." Like I shouldn't be surprised because it's Josh, but I was just like, "Wow, I get to put my vocals on this." Like I was so honored. So yeah.
So this is a very important song to me personally, and because it was a song that kind of helped me through a very difficult time in my life, and I wanted to. The reason I covered it was because I wanted to do something new for the album that I was doing, the cover album, and I wanted to include something new alongside all of the remastered covers, and so I wanted to get as many people involved with it as I could. So I did the production. I played lead guitar on it. My friend Nolithium played rhythm guitar. Can of Nothing on organ. Kyle Brook here on bass. And Zachary already spoke about the vocalists. The lead vocals were done by my friend Isabel Ampanen. We've worked together a number of times before. I first met her when I cast her for the role of Mary Ann Bennett, the main character of my own personal project, Looking Glass of the Heart, which is like a slice of life, like it's a multimedia slice of life anime inspired kind of project, and she plays the lead character for that, and she also sings, and in addition to being a wonderfully talented voice actor, she also sings, and so I wanted to get her involved on this, and she did amazingly. She blew the song out of the water, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the way that I went about arranging it, because it's, for the most part, it's a fairly straight cover.
Mm-hmm.
The original song, I didn't mess with the original arrangement too much. I wanted everybody to kind of play it in their own style. I changed the key. The original key was F sharp minor. I moved it up to B because Isabel couldn't really sing it very well in the original key, so we wanted to bring it up to something that she could really open up in. And but other than that, most of it's the same. I just wanted to play it just in my own kind of way. And the only thing that I did that was a major change to the original arrangement was the addition of an organ, because I wanted to have kind of this sheen over everything. And but then while I was working on it, I was listening to a song called Return to Oblivion, which was a more recently released song in Final Fantasy XIV. And it references that song both musically and lyrically. And there's this one transition in that song that goes like this, right before the chorus. And that like really stands out to me. And like it's my favorite part of the entire song. And I wanted to incorporate that into this cover. And so I decided to put that in the right before the first chorus of the song. And then I thought, well, what if I include like some of the vocals from Return to Oblivion? So I took the spaces where there aren't any vocals from the original song, and I had Isabel whisper the vocals, and that was inspired. There's a band called Myth and Roid, specifically a song called Anger Anger that has a lot of whispered vocals, and I love that kind of sound. And so I wanted to incorporate them in that way. And regarding my thoughts are very scattered right now, but regarding the transition, that kind of thing, I think that's particularly notable. And the reason why it was particularly notable to me is that those kinds of moments that stand out, those little riffs that stand out in accordance with the rest of the arrangement, are things that I think are worth noting when you're arranging. And so when you're creating music for, it's the same chord as the opening to Live and Learn. It's when you're working on a fan project or any kind of project, there's going to be times where you are asked to arrange a song that already exists, whether that's a song that you've written in the past or a song that you that somebody else has. And especially when you're working on fan projects, because a lot of the music that you're going to be writing that you're going to be producing is going to come from previous games. And so I think when you're doing that kind of thing, it's important to take note of those little moments in pieces of music. And there is one way that you can think about them. So in Final Fantasy, there are these open world areas, and each of them has a landmark of some kind, whether that's like a dungeon or a particular, like a town or something like that. There's some sort of feature that stands out as a landmark. And that kind of thing exists in music as well. And so when you take those things and you apply them, they sort of cast a shadow across the rest of the piece, and it changes the way that you view it. And so I think incorporating that from that other song meant a lot to me, and it meant a lot to other people as well because of that shadow that it casts. And I think that one of the ways that I think a lot of you will connect with that is that opening synth swell from Live and Learn. If you all remember that. And when you hear that, you know exactly what that song is.
Unless you're playing Sonic Generations and they fake you out of it. But
yes. Okay. So exactly. That's actually a very important point to make. So in Sonic Generations, there's this supersonic theme, and it opens with that synth swell, and everybody got so excited when they heard that, and then it starts playing the Sonic 4
theme,
the supersonic theme, and a lot of people were very upset. A lot of people laughed their heads off. Exactly. And the reason that affects people so much is because of how impactful that opening synth swell is. And so like it's funny, but you can tell like how much that matters to people and what that means. And so when sure, it's something of a joke there, but like you can think about that when hi son, you can think about that when you are working on pieces of music for yourself. There are these little landmark moments that are going to stand out, and the way that you incorporate them will say something about the music as a whole. And so that's something worth thinking about as well.
Alrighty then. Well, thank you, Josh, for that. Like, seriously, we all can attest here that you are a man of many, 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 many talents. And we're all grateful to have you as a friend and to just be really, like, I can say for myself, because we've done a lot of covers together, you've inspired me so many times to go beyond what I know and do more things. So I always will appreciate that from you. So
I'm glad.
I'll second that.
Mhm.
Like, especially in terms of guitar, you've inspired me so much over the last ever since I've known you the past 5 years and whatnot. So, hats off to you.
Yes. So we're gonna go on to Mr. Kyle Brook. All right.
Oh boy. Well, I don't have the same crazy effects as Josh, but I can try and.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't quite live up to
Yay.
Josh's mad effects, but I can at least give that a go. All right, where are my notes? Because I'm still scatterbrained. Okay, so, my name's Kyle Brook. People who have been in the Sonic community may know me as Kyle B5000, although I'm kind of trying to escape that moniker. But
Yes.
but in terms of what drew me into music, well, for me it was at a very, very young age when I was, without going too into detail, when I was 4 years old, my grandparents used to drive me around, and they always used to listen to a classic British rock band called Status Quo in the car all the time, and it was listening to them that sort of sparked that interest in the back of my mind in music, even from that age. And I remember one Christmas, my grandfather got some VHS tapes of them playing live, some of their live shows. And it was just kind of like a stars in my eyes moment when I just sort of watched them playing on stage and was just kind of like, that, I want to do that. And that kind of kick-started my whole journey into playing guitar and my whole interest in music in general. But what sort of really cultivated it on the video game music side of stuff, I played video games pretty much for most of my life as well, but music wasn't necessarily something I paid much attention to until I played a tiny little, not very well known game series called Halo, and listening to some of the ridiculous orchestral arrangements that Marty O'Donnell did for that. I was playing it earlier today for that matter, and just reminiscing about how much I adore the music in that game, and or in that game series for that matter. And that just kind of pushed me over the edge into listening to more video game music. And then sort of my love of Sonic slowly drifted its way into that when I started to sort of get back into that in sort of the early 2010s. And in terms of music production, I didn't really get too much into that until that kind of crept back around, and I started seeing other people on YouTube doing seeing Joshua doing covers, and seeing various other artists on SoundCloud, and you should do that. And again, having that sort of stars in my eyes moment of thinking I want to do that too. So sort of trying to find my way into that whole thing. And then from there on, like I said, same as these guys, got approached to do music for Misadventures, and all that stuff. And it's quite a funny story about Misadventures. So one of the first tracks or remixes that I did for Misadventures was a remix of Windy Hill from Sonic Lost World.
Yes, I remember.
Ooh.
I don't like going back to listen to it now because it is
Oh.
dated. But as we were saying earlier, the whole it actually kind of brought me around in the whole thinking about my older stuff, because the production and the quality of it might not be as good by my standards now, but again, the heart and the passion was there. And leading off from that, it was around the time that I was applying to go to university for music production, and it was that remix that I submitted as they wanted me to submit an example of something I'd done, so I sent that remix, and that was what got me into university. And now here I sit with a first class honors degree. So
That's really fucking cool.
yeah, exactly.
Hey.
So it's even just working on just passion projects like that, it just sort of goes to show that if you've got that passion and you've got that drive, just full send it. Don't hold back. If you enjoy doing it, go for it. And again, like with what Jay was saying earlier, I find myself having issues with the self-confidence thing as well. But that's another reason why I like having such a great group of people around me, be it for collaboration or even just support. Was the universe I got into Sonic Schoolhouse? Thankfully not. That would have been a very interesting 3 years, that's for sure. But yeah, and then during that, sort of off the back of Misadventures, troubled development, to say the least, I got approached by the legendary Chakra X, who animated Nazo Unleashed. Who, if you're in the Sonic community, you know what Nazo is.
Yes.
And he approached me to do music for the sequels of Sonic: The Wrath of Nazo, which I was like, can't say much about. I will say it's still going on, but obviously these are difficult times, so be patient. It is coming. That being said, though, hopefully it doesn't end up like Misadventures, but I don't want to miss it. So
don't jinx
let's
that.
let's leave it at that. But that is still going on. But one of the things that I want to talk about with my songs is the first thing I did for that. So around the time that he approached me for that, I was already kind of working on doing a cover of Endless Possibility from Sonic Unleashed. And it was around that time I was like, and he was saying that Endless Possibility is going to be like, possibly the credits theme. So I was like, oh, I'm working on a cover of this at the moment, and so if things still go to plan, the version that's on YouTube at the moment isn't going to be the one in the actual movie, but I'm working on getting it up to scratch for that, and so I'm just gonna if I can just jump into my screen share, if you want to get onto Discord for that, Zach.
Yes, we'll do.
I'm
1
gonna
second.
attempt, being the key word, to sort of go through my project file and break down sort of my process and like some of the things that I did involving this. So just for the sake of making sure, I'm just gonna throw just the drums on. Just want to make sure this is coming through on the screen. So just gonna let that play. Yep, I can hear the stream. Fantastic. So one of the things that I love doing is anything rock. If it can be made rock, I will find a way to do it. But with this, I remember around this time, I was in this. I tried to use electric drums, or like samples rather than using just a regular kit. And it sort of gave it that extra punch, which sort of gave this cover like the sort of drive that it wanted. So actually, what I'm talking about, I'm just gonna let the whole thing play in the background. And like General Offensive, I had I was in a similar vein to him. I didn't suffer hard drive failure, but I did switch from Mac to PC recently. So having to reconstruct all of this from the ground up because of incompatibility wasn't particularly fun.
This is my escape. I'm running through this world and I'm not looking back.
And all these vocals I sort of redid today. Because again, the files were corrupted. We love that. So yeah, I just let this play out a little bit.
But how will I know when I get there? And how will I know when to leave? We've all gotta start from somewhere, and it's right there for me. The possibilities are never ending. I see it, I see it.
One of the things that I love doing because I love having things cut out to really give something more impact. That's one of the things that I can incorporate there. I'm all about those kinds of things. I think I did at the end of this chorus as well. So it really gives you that further impact of things. So generally speaking, when it comes to doing something like this, I usually start with drums to give the backbone of the arrangement. And then pretty much in the audio scene here, I'll pretty much go bass, then guitars, then get all the other things in there, and then vocals. Usually always come last. With something like this. But one of the things, I'm just getting a little bit ahead in the song, because one of the things that I remember thinking when I was oh, that echo. One of the things that I was originally thinking with this was that obviously Endless Possibilities has the sort of shouty rap kind of section in the middle. And I remember thinking yeah, I don't really want to do that. So I was trying to figure out how I could incorporate that more into my style. So basically, well, I don't really know how to explain how I sort of did this. I basically took the chords that are used in the solo section, um, and decided to use this as a basis, just kind of go as high up in my range as I can, to sort of give that section the same amount of impact, while not going full rap on it, I guess. So in that vein, this is the thing I came up with for that.
Drop that smile cause you're beating again. No, this is where my journey begins. You're losing speed, you're losing flow. But inside there's a power you'll never know. Let it out, it's inside you. Better all step back cause I'm coming through. Oh yeah.
And then go straight into solo with that. So I didn't have much confidence that I'd be able to do the proper rap section. I've gotten a relatively positive response from that, so I guess it went. I
It
guess
sounds
sounded
amazing.
good. Thank you.
Kyle,
Um,
you sound
yeah?
so good, and also, Marvin wants to ask you.
Oh.
You said that the Q&A is at the end, but wait, let's go ahead and ask you right now. He's curious of how you tune your vocals.
Okay, so I've already rendered them out in this. So there is I do use pitch correction on most of my vocals because unfortunately I'm not pitch perfect. For that I use Melodyne. Basically just to help me iron out bum notes. But it's also when it comes to harmonies. If I can't quite get harmonies to sound perfectly, I'll do as many takes as I can to get it as close as I can at capture. And then use Melodyne to kind of iron out any of the sort of notes that don't quite hit. So there's a little harmony section here that I added basically exclusively for this presentation, just to kind of highlight that because I had a feeling someone was going to bring up pitch correction. But yeah, so you know what? I wonder if real quick I can bear with me 2 seconds. I'm going to try and get back to a version of this
Okay.
where I still have the Melodyne versions. And if it crashes, which I feel like it might do, yep, there it goes.
sad
Then,
day.
all right, so if you bear with
Typical.
me 2 seconds, I will get that straight back up.
Okay.
But I can show you like a little before and after of it.
Okay.
Because yeah, it's if I could sing everything perfectly at capture, then I'd be set. But unfortunately, I'm not quite there. I've come a long way, as Zach will attest, in my vocal prowess, but I'm certainly not.
We can
as good
all
as it could be.
attest
I
to
agree.
this.
I mean, may I interject?
Yes.
Of course, go right ahead.
So,
Okay,
I
it should
just
be
wanna
back up
say-
now.
Okay. So just quickly to say, like, you have come such a long way, and it's been really amazing to see how, like, in terms of vocal talent, how much you've developed. Like, when I compare to back,
Thank
like,
you.
to the song that we did together of the thing that
Which one? Live and Learn? That was the first one we did together. Or are you
That
talking about
was-
Sweet Dream?
Sweet Dream. There we
Sweet
go.
Dream, yeah.
Yeah, that was the moment where I really heard you vocally sing. I think because
Yeah.
before that it was you played the guitars
Mm.
and I sang with
Yeah.
you. So it's really nice to see that kind of like progress all those years later. It's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Kyle knows because I tell him this all the time whenever I do hear a new cover from him. I always like tell him how much his voice has grown since when I first met him. I remember him telling me
has.
because he came up to me. I think Kyle will be fine with me telling this story.
Oh, go ahead.
He came up to me. This was 2015, and he came up to
Mm.
me and asking me, "Hey, how can I sing higher notes? I need some help, and I think that you sing all these crazy high notes, so maybe you can help me out." I was like, "Well, first off, I mean, basically, you just have to, do your skills, and you just got to keep practicing." And the biggest thing about Kyle is that he will always practice. He will always he does not give up on his stuff. Like he will put new content out whenever whenever you're not expecting it, he'll put something out, and it's so great because it's always new and fresh. And
Thank you.
I always look forward to his stuff because whether it's with the production of his music or the production of his videos, there's always something new to look forward to. And with him, it's like his voice has grown so much in the last 5 years. I can't even tell you, like he can sing high notes now. The guy can sing so many great high notes. And like I'm just like he doesn't need no help. He's great now. He's fantastic. So
Thank you. Oh god, I'm all flustered now. What have you guys done? Thank you so much. That really does mean the world to me. For what it's worth, I 99. You say I practice non-stop. Yeah, I do. Real quick, I'm a delivery driver for my occupation, and I pretty much spend 99% of the time while I'm driving between addresses just screaming, like just absolutely belting things out to try and practice like in as much time as I can. So there's an testament to that. And getting back to that.
Also, real quick,
go
Shane
for
wants
it.
to ask you, what version of Melodyne do you use?
I use an older version because it's the I still have a license been carrying over for a while and I can't really afford to to get the newest version. So I'm on an older one. I'm not entirely sure which one, but I've got Melodyne Editor, which is the plug-in version, not the standalone. So yeah.
Gotcha.
But in terms of take this little harmony here, so I'll do it first with Melodyne off, and I'm praying to God this isn't a terrible take. I know in my heart that it's my time, and I already see the possibilities are never ending. So it doesn't sound too bad, but there are a couple of like little, just tiny little bum notes. Just real quick, you guys could hear that after I came back onto the stream, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to double check. So there are a couple little bum notes in there that just don't quite sit right. So I'll just flick these back on and I'll use Melodyne just to kind of tune those up, just so they sit just right. Because I must have done, like I said, I redid all these vocals in like the hours leading up to this stream, so I didn't really have time to get a perfect take. But if I flick it on, I know in my heart that it's my time, and I already see the possibilities are never ending. And it just kind of like helps to bring them together a little bit more. And obviously, and then there are some use cases that I've done in other covers. I did a cover of Saturn's Bars by Gorillaz like a couple of years ago, and I had my friend come on that to do like the rapping in those sections. And I just went hard on Melodyne and basically turned it into full-on auto-tune, which I don't understand the disdain for sometimes when it's used as an effect.
Yeah.
Like it can work quite nice as a in that regard. Everyone's curious. I want to run through equipment real quick. I use Reaper. I have been using this for God, how long have I been using? I've been using this for a long. I've been using this for about 6 years now. Just because it's ease of use and it works really nicely for my workflow. I use the same brand of audio interface as Josh does. I have the Focusrite 2i2 first gen.
Focusrite rep.
Oh yeah, and again with guitars, I'm also on PRS as well with that. So it's the way to go. And then at the moment, I used to be running an iMac. I've switched to PC recently. The only difficulty with that being getting my plugins back. But now that I've done that, it's all straight back in. I do have another song that I was going to talk about, but I'm not too sure what else I can really say in terms of that. Because it's just a little bit more of the same.
Well, if you want to play it for the people, since you did,
yeah, of course,
we can just go ahead and just play it for them. And if you have anything to say, or if anybody has any questions in the chat that you want to give to Kyle, we can go with that.
To be fair, this is a cover of "Reach for the Stars" from Sonic Colors that I did a few years back, and I think at this point it's my biggest Sonic cover in terms of reach. Pardon the pun.
So Marvin has a question. Actually, sorry to interrupt. He asked,
Shoot.
If I'm not wrong, you went to study studio stuff, right? Reaper was the software that Kyle used. I guess he's asking. Yeah.
Yeah, I used Reaper all the way through because I went to uni for music production. Although the actual the university used Logic and Pro Tools, which are more of the industry standard digital audio workstations. But even then, I still pretty much did all of my stuff in Reaper where I was comfortable, and then exported them to take them into my university studios. So it was only like the final masters and stuff of the tracks that I did for uni that were actually done outside of Reaper. And it just goes to show you don't necessarily have to have bleeding edge technology and like the craziest gear and everything to achieve to get good results. And something I can lead off on that is, so the vocals in Endless Possibility were recorded in my first year dorm, much to my flatmates' dismay. But for this one, I got access to the studio the actual vocal booths at the university. And to be honest, once I've got them all in there and mixed, it's hard. It's pretty hard to tell. Oh Jesus, that's not turned down. Get me screaming at you, so we get like.
The sky with stars so bright, the colors feel so right. I've never felt like this, I'll keep on burning. The sky with stars so bright, the colors feel so.
And again, with this one, I'm using an actual kit. So what I'm using for this one for drums, I'm using something called Stephen Slate drums. I used to use this is the free the free version. This is basically the demo version that you get. And even then, it just goes to show you don't need to pay through the nose to get something that sounds pretty decent. I used to use Addictive Drums for the longest time, but I've kind of fallen away off that recently. But yeah, so I guess we can just let this play in the background. If anyone's got anything, that's pretty much all I've really got to cover, to be fair. In terms of mixing.
Oh, go ahead.
Go on.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, in terms of mixing and mastering and stuff, if I can give a tip to anyone, equalizers are your friend. balancing the sound between your, it's all well and good having everything at the right actual like volume level is one thing, but making sure that all of your instruments are working together in terms of finding their own place in the audio spectrum, that's the key thing. Yeah, I guess. So what were you gonna ask, Zach? I'll let this play.
I was just gonna say, I'm listening to how good this is. So, so let's play this just for a little while longer, and we'll go into my portion.
Yeah, by all means. Thank you all for listening to my stuttering. No, Marvin, it's fine. By all means, ask. It depends when it comes to vocal harmonies. I don't like to do borrow ideas for this stuff. I try not to do too much. I try to do what will best service the song. So if I feel like a song will benefit from a crazy 4-part harmony, then yes, I'll go full in on it. But if I feel like a song will be better off not having a harmony, then I won't put one in. So it's a case-by-case basis. From a production standpoint, I'll always double track backing vocals and throw them to the left and right so they fill out the space in the mix. It's very rare that I'll just have a lead vocal and then one harmony sat in the middle, because then they start to interfere with each other. It can work in some cases. Yeah, I hope that answers that. How does it feel to have the coolest name known to man? I wouldn't know, given how much my name has been into oblivion over the last couple of years. So if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go punch some drywall. With my cannon monster at my side, here we go. That's too many vocal parts. Yeah, I remember that. Hey, again, whatever works. And if you can make a crazy, like a crazy 5-part, oh, don't play again. If you can make a crazy 5-part harmony work in like like a rock environment like this, then more power to you. Because sometimes, take anything off the Ruby soundtrack from Rooster Teeth by Jeff Williams. They have a lot of tracks on there that have just crazy harmonies going on in the background that are so well blended with the song. They just help to build up this just wall of awesomeness. So yeah. And yeah. Anyway, Zach, I'll let you. Unless anyone's got any more questions, I'll let you take the floor.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Kyle, so much. We can all attest. You're awesome, and I'm so glad to have you on this panel. So
Thank you for having me.
I guess I'll introduce myself. My name is Zach Frazier. I'm a singer. I am an aspiring musician. I play the piano and saxophone. I haven't played the saxophone in a second, but I still love playing sax whenever I can. How I got into music, it's kind of like, I feel like it's like a story for a lot of people in the South that loves music. I grew up in church. So, I used to sing with my mom all the time. Didn't know if I could sing or not, but I sang with her. Mom has all these little clips, these cassette tapes, if anybody knows what the cassette tapes are, where she would record me just banging pots and pans while she was singing. And she always knew that I had some type of talent. I don't know what type of talent it was at the time, banging pots and pans, but she always knew that I had something. The first time that I actually ever sung was when I was in kindergarten, when it was like Bring Your Parents to School Day, and I sang a song with her for this lullaby. And so ever since then, I always knew that I loved music. Michael Jackson was my idol at the time. I used to listen to all his albums and tracks and everything. And Stevie Wonder was another one. I always grew up very old school. I listened to all the R&B in the 70s and 80s and 90s. I was always an old school kid. I'm sorry, 1 second. And so basically with that, a lot of my musical talents was with the R&B. And so with that, I started doing a lot of harmonies. I love harmonies. Everybody in this chat can probably say that I kind of maybe overdo the harmonies, but I'm just a big harmony guy.
You do exactly as many harmonies as are needed.
Yeah.
You
Our
are
level of harmonies expertise is
the undisputed harmony king over here.
Absolutely.
It just comes naturally to me. Like I know that everybody here will be like, don't say that, but I've never really been a big lead singer. I'm always been more of a background singer because I just love filling in places with harmonies or background vocals that need it more than me like doing lead. Like I'll do lead sometime, but I've always been more of a background singer. And going into college, I started learning more about doing session work and doing background singing and learning more about that. And I didn't actually start YouTube until 2012. And what I did, I have an Audio Technica ATI 2020 USB microphone. Still have it to this day. It's I know that people say that USB microphones are not the greatest thing, but if you're just starting off, this microphone that I'm using right now has been my ride or die for the longest time, and I'm knocking on wood that it doesn't break anytime soon, because I got it used on eBay, and since then though it's still been my number one thing to use. And I'll tell anybody, if you're starting off with music, I know that a lot of things aren't free. When I started recording, I used Audacity. Audacity is probably the easiest thing to use if you're just trying to just start off with just recording yourself for different types of like podcasts or like for what I play silver on Sasso Studios' episodes. And I use this microphone for this all the time, and I use Audacity because it's the easiest thing to just go and just record something and just send it off. But I will tell you that I've been learning more about Reaper and Pro Logic and Pro Tools and all that stuff, and those are definitely the better things to use. If you're trying to go with something free, Reaper is the best one to use at this point. But if you're
I will say Reaper isn't free. You get 60.
You get 60 days?
You get 60 days fully featured.
Oh.
And then you can buy it at a discounted price. I think it's $60.
Gotcha.
And for most people, that's the license that you'll get. But yeah, it's fully featured, the demo.
Yeah,
Try it out.
it's technically free in that they won't force you to pay for the license. It's technically an indefinite free trial,
Gotcha.
but you are strongly recommended to pay for the license.
Absolutely.
But so with
Kinda
that
like
though, with
Windows.
oh sorry, did I interrupt somebody?
No, sorry, I'm just saying that's kind of like Winrad, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. It'll bug you about it. But you can just hit that X, you'll be fine.
But everybody
Yeah,
here knows that I use Audacity whenever I record my vocals and stuff. I mean, nobody's complained about it. It's the easiest thing for me to use. And most of my covers, the stuff that you've heard, was done through Audacity, but I sent it to somebody else to, fix it up and spruce it up. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I just got my master's in journalism. That took a long time for me to get. So I'm officially a graduate student in master's. But,
Very proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
But I'm grinded for that, man.
I'm also classically trained. I did 8 years, actually not 8 years, 12 years in classically trained music. I can do arias and all that type of stuff. On top of that, though, like, I never strayed away from my R&B stuff. I love musical theater as well, but pop and R&B are my number one, number two genres to sing. Going into 2012, when I got my microphone, I started recording a lot of different covers, a lot of different small things. I never thought of doing my own original music, and I never even thought about even being a part of a fan project or fan games or anything of that matter. It wasn't until 2014 when I saw the auditions for Misadventures, when I sent in a recording of me singing, oh lord, what is that song from Sonic 06? In His World.
All right. I was gonna say Dreams of an Absolution. It's one that sticks out to me in terms of what you've done, but yeah.
Yeah, well, His World, His World, I will never play this for anybody because it's not a great cover, but I played that just to show that, hey, I can do something on the spot, and I recorded that in like 2 hours and mixed it and all that stuff. Isn't the greatest, but it got me into Misadventures, and ever since then, I was able to learn that, okay, there's a whole new world with this. So I got to do Dreams of an Absolution, which is one of my favorite songs from the Sonic universe, and I've always wanted to do that cover, but I didn't know how to do it. So when I got the opportunity to actually sing it, I had Foz. Shout out to Foz.
Man.
He's amazing. Guy's amazing. He's in college right now, and he's doing great. But he was the one who produced the song Dreams of an Absolution, and we got Noah Copeland. He was in the chat earlier, but we got to shout out him too because he's also in Sage.
Oh, absolutely.
He's doing triple. He has a game out right now, which at the moment I can't think of the full name, but I know it's Sonic Triple something. And
Triple Trouble.
Triple Trouble, yes.
I think.
And he is an amazing mixer / master. Like, his sound work is great. He's done a couple of covers.
You'll see him.
Oh, go ahead.
You'll see him throughout this event because he does a lot of stuff with fan game projects.
Yeah, he's doing a 16-bit remake of Triple Trouble.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, we can all attest to him. He's fantastically talented too. He gave me the inspiration to be like, hey, I actually sound good on a song. And because when we first released a little bit of a snippet of Dreams of an Absolution, people wasn't the most savvy towards it, but it was just because of the fact that it wasn't finished all the way and everything. But Noah came in and spruced it up a little bit with the work of Foz as well, and then some vocals of myself, and we were able to come up with a really great cover that people still talk about to this day, which I'm truly grateful for. But so I want to go into a little bit of two of the songs that I got to do. One with Jay, Josh, and also shout out to Chris runs with scissors. He helped write Journey On, which is the intro that I'm gonna talk about. And
He
then-
also runs with scissors.
he does runs with scissors. That was my lisp coming out. Sorry about that. So also I'm gonna talk about Spaceport, which I've done with these two other talented people, Tudd and General Offensive as well. So with that, I'm gonna play a little bit of Journey On. So I'm gonna play the original. So here you go.
I got knocked down, but I got up again. I've been thrown straight down into the lion's den. My friends will always help me stand tall. We'll journey onward, keep our hopes inside, and to stay in the fight. Care about the struggle whenever you're in trouble. Believe in yourself and we'll make it. So carry on, my friends, our dreams will keep us moving. Days are slowly by me, each story makes our life more exciting.
So that is a very rough.
Oh, I
Cover.
forget how great those harmonies are.
I'm
at the end
sorry.
of that.
I know that Jay is probably hating me right now. That's extremely that was an extremely rough cover without any mixing done or anything. That was just me.
Yeah, that was the first demo.
Yes, that was
The
just
first vocal demo.
that
It's
was
a
just
throwback
when
and a half.
so originally it was just supposed to be Jay singing the song. And then
Yes.
they were like, okay, why don't we have a duet? They wanted to have this kind of like duet type of thing, so they asked me to sing along with. So that was my kind of audition to get into the song. So all those harmonies, everything like that was something I just came up with the spot, and it was
Yeah, because I had written, I mean, I wrote the melody, the vocal melody, and there were a couple vocal harmonies throughout it, but nothing much. And Zachary came in and added all these wonderful harmonies that just like lifted the chorus in particular to something just like on a completely different level.
Oh well, thanks. It was fun. Like I said, I just love making harmonies, and I love like adding something to a song. Whether sometimes you add too much, but that gives the. Let me say this. You can always add a lot because the producer can go and take stuff out. It's always good to have
Exactly.
more than less. That's what I always say.
Right.
Because
Right.
the producer can find a part, they're like, okay, it doesn't fit here, but they'll put it somewhere else. And I think we've all done that where it's like somebody's done a couple of stuff and they're like, okay, it doesn't fit quite right here, but I'm going to put it later down the song, or I'll put it under something and make it fill out a little bit more. So I will always tell any singer to always, no, don't do the most. Let's not do that. But always give enough for the producer to work with. And biggest thing that I think that we all can attest to here is that we're all perfectionists in some type of way. We will do take
Yes.
after take after take. I think I think I'm the worst at it when it comes to just being pissed off at themselves. I'm sorry. Because I will do a take over and over again until I think it's right. And also with Audacity, you don't get the thing of comping, which is something that you can do with Reaper, Logic, and Pro Tools and all that, where you can comp vocals. With Audacity, since it's very bare bones, you'll have to do the same thing over again. And I think that's the one thing that I don't like about Audacity, that I need to start working with other ones, but I'm kind of a little bit lazy, and I'm just like, I don't have time for that, but I will start working on that soon. But with
It does get
For
you into a
anyone-
good habit of making sure that you're getting like the best take before any mixing happens, though, which is
Mhm.
always a good practice.
It does.
So-
oh yeah,
For anyone who doesn't,
oh, go ahead.
for anyone in the chat who doesn't know what comping is, that's when you do multiple takes of a part and then you select the best portions of those takes and put them together as a single.
Mm-hmm.
You take
Exactly.
the best parts of the takes that you've done and put them together into a single take that
Yeah.
Exactly.
sounds good.
So with that,
So you could do
go
like one line, and then you could record like the next line separately, and then edit them together so it sounds like one big take.
exactly. So with that, when I made that, we were like, okay, let's go and rearrange this a little bit. Like this song went through many different things.
Oh yeah.
Like even though it's just a 1-minute song, that song went through so many different versions to get to the point where you hear in the final version. So with that, me and Jay went into many different calls to work on different little things that we can do, and we came up with the things like, okay, Jay, you take the first verse, I take the second verse, then we'll come in together and then add little harmonies here and there, and then I'll take the last part, and then you'll take the final ending, and we'll go from there.
If I may interject, I do
Yes.
remember struggling a lot with that first verse, like the second part of
Yes.
that first verse, and that's when you have Zach. You'll hear this later on, but teamwork is super important and super essential. So
It's
Yeah.
the real superpower of teamwork.
I mean, honestly, Sonic said it best there. It's like teamwork really does make
I had
I had to do that.
people. I mean, we can all say
you're a treasure.
we can all say here is that with collaborations, it's good to work off each other, and that's always been my biggest thing. It's like we're all here to support each other. That's what's happening with this panel right now. We're all supporting each other throughout this whole thing. So with the song, I stayed with Jay and I was like, okay, how about you say this word here a little bit differently and like that? Because like I said, I'm classically trained. So I had to learn how to say different words in different ways to actually, project it more or make it sound more crisp and things like that. Because that's what you have to do on stage, is that you have to change your voice to make sure it projects to the audience, because you don't have a microphone when you're doing classical music. You're just singing. So you have to make sure that everything you say is projected well and everybody can hear. So with that, me and Jay got into a couple of calls and we worked out a couple of kinks, and a lot of what you see there, when you hear the final version, there's a lot of different takes from a lot of different sessions. Like the first line that Jay sings was from the first time she ever sang it. And then the chorus is from about a year later. Well, not even a year later, about a couple months later after we started working on it, where she did this portion, and then the ending was done a different portion as well. So this was like a couple of months in the making of doing that. And on top of that, with the vocals, with Josh, what we did, we were like, okay, let's get into a call, because me and Josh do a lot of random calls at night working on music. That's how we work. We work at night. We're night.
Those are some of my favorite nights.
Yeah, we're night owls.
enjoy those.
We're big night owls. So we were like, I think this needs something extra. So we went to a couple of different things. We did organ at first, and that didn't work too well.
I
So
don't
we
even
took
remember
that.
that.
Huh?
I don't even remember that.
You don't remember that? Yeah, we did organ at first, and we're like, no, that doesn't work. So we took that out, and then we added brass and trumpets. And
Yes.
that is gonna work. That worked a lot better. But we were thinking, how would we put that in the mix to make it not sound too bombastic, but still enough to bring out the arrangement? Because I remember Josh also having a little bit of fun with the intro. He had a couple of different intros that he wanted to do with the.
Oh yeah, I didn't know how to go about that.
Yeah, but what came up was the best thing. So I'm gonna play you guys the final version just to see the difference between the two.
I got knocked down, but I got up again. I could go straight down until the light's dead. My friends will always help me stand tall. We'll carry on, but keep my arms inside them to stay in the fight. Don't care about the struggle, whenever you're in trouble. Believe in yourself and we'll make it. So carry on, my friends. Our dreams will keep us moving. The pages don't find me. The story makes our life more exciting.
So with that,
Oh, I need new underwear.
and also I see in the comments that Marvin said that he played the drums, which I
Yes,
just now remembered.
yeah.
Thank you, Marvin, for playing that. Even though you don't like it, I love it. So you did a great job.
The first demo that you heard had programmed drums and bass just as like filler or as temporary instruments. The final version there has Marvin Valentine on drums and Luis Almeida on bass. Retroactively, I consider it an unknown song, and I would actually like to produce a new version of it.
Like a full extended version? Or just a
Probably,
minute now?
yeah.
That'd be awesome to see like a full on like second verse and whatnot.
So,
That'd be sick.
Yeah, and so as you guys can see, a lot changed from that first one to now, and it's still one of my favorite songs that I've ever done with anybody, because it was the first time I actually got to write something without people saying, "Oh, this sounds like crap." Sorry, I almost said something else. This sounds like crap. And because growing up, you know, when you're in a competitive field, people sometimes will be nice to you, but a lot of the times they'll, you know, lie to your face, or they'll tell you, "Oh, that doesn't sound good." So I had a lot of times where people be like, "Your songs sound like your writing's not good at all." So I stopped writing for a long time. But you know, Josh, Jay, Chris, all these guys here made me feel comfortable enough to start doing it again. And now I'm working on original music myself, even though the pandemic is happening right now. I've been spending some time writing original music, and it's been a lot of fun because, I mean, me and Jay and General Offensive right now are working on something that we can't truly talk about at the moment, but we're translating Japanese into English lyrics, and it's been it's been a fun and a little bit of a frustrating experience, but we're learning from it.
It's difficult, but
Learning
it's
Japanese,
so
right?
rewarding when you get something that just sounds really good.
Exactly. So with that being said, I want to go into Spaceport a little bit, and then I'm gonna give it up to Tudd and General Offensive with this. So this is always a fun story for me. I got a message from Tudd and General Offensive randomly saying like, "Hey, so Game Chops is doing a compilation album called Spin-3, and we are doing a couple of songs, and we wanted to know if you would like to do a remix of Spaceport." And
Yep.
and
That's my favorite song from Sonic Forces.
it's my only
Yeah,
favorite song from
definitely.
Sonic Forces.
What, no love for
Hey.
Infinite?
God, I love it.
If
I
you
don't
didn't,
want to
if
say
you
it
didn't
out
say it.
loud, but same.
I mean, okay, so I'm not gonna hate on Sonic Forces. It has some decent music, but Spaceport was the. I'm trying to save face. Spaceport, it has the best song. It's one of the best songs from the thing, and I do like Fist
is.
Bump when it's piano. So, and I did a cover of that. Shameless plug. But
Yes, he did. He
Uh,
did. It's wonderful.
As-
You should all listen to it.
Josh helped me do that.
Oh,
by the
yeah.
way. But I'm not gonna do that. Be that person and play it while I'm talking. I don't like that. So what's happening? So with Spaceport right now, they asked me to sing that, and I was like, okay, let me listen to that again, because I played the game once and I put it away and never touched it again. So I had to listen to the song again to be like, oh, okay, I remember this song. I actually like the harmonies in this. I like this. I like that. Do you have something to add, Tudd?
No.
Okay. All right. I thought I
Yeah.
heard you say something. So, so I came up with the demo, and so I'm gonna play a little bit of the demo real quick. So this is another song where the song changed completely.
Yeah, if you'd like, after you show
Yeah.
the demo, we have a bunch of demos to show about how this song
Like-
grew and talk about the whole process, because it's been a journey to make this song even before we messaged you.
Mm-hmm.
It's
We have like
probably
earlier demos.
Yeah.
before
So
that.
I won't play much of it. I'm just gonna play my little vocals
No, okay.
and just go with that. So let me get to the point of my vocals real quick. There we are.
Inside this crazy firestorm, where no one's left to save the world. In the distance, I see the light of hope shining. Can't give it all, we'll lose it all. No surrendering, we will carry on, fighting, battling to win back our world.
So right there, that was the demo. That was the first time I ever sung that. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mango. And so that was the first time I ever sang that at all. And what you hear there was double layering. So on one
Yeah.
side was me singing it about 6 months later. And then the first one, and on the other side was me singing it the time that they asked me to sing it. So
Yeah.
so what they picked, which came to my surprise, they kept the demo vocals, which I thought was really cool because you'll learn in a lot of music, a lot of people don't usually keep the demo vocals. They may keep like demo background vocals, but for the most part, they always go and redo the vocals. So that's what I did. But I think they can chime in too. I think that the demo vocals worked much better than my recent vocals with that. And so
In that sense, just in general, I find that music making is not a linear process. It's
Right.
something where you get emotional when you invest time into something and you could recreate something and you get even more emotional because you put more work. But
oh, amen to that.
letting go of things so that you can just pick what works best is something that I've been trying to learn for years.
It's a
and
Yeah.
skill in
it's
itself.
quite
is that.
important.
Yeah.
yeah. And so with that, what is the coolest part is that since it was a remix, it was much different from the cover. And honestly, it's much better than the not cover, the original song. And I think, in my opinion, is much better. Not my vocals, but just the production is much better than the one that's on the game. That's just my opinion. But with
Yeah,
that,
but I think,
no, go ahead.
I think your vocals kind of brought it up way much, especially in
Yeah.
the end. So it was, I mean, the reason why we kept your demo vocals was because, you can have sorts of, you can use the actual vocal and the demo vocals and pan them in different ways so you can create a like more lush sound,
Mm-hmm.
like something more open, like pan this vocal to the left and this vocal to the right. And every vocal that you've provided us was kind of perfect. So we we don't know we didn't know what to do with it except like use it
Mm-hmm.
to enhance the
Well,
the richness of the song. I don't know.
well,
It was
I'll tell you this, and I appreciate you saying that, but this is where the perfectionism comes out. So when they were telling me, "Hey, we fixed up the bridge, and we need you to come in and do that," so there was a time limit at that point because they needed to get it done at this certain time, and unfortunately, during that time, I was sick. I had no voice. There was no voice to be heard during that part, but I had to tough it out and try to sing something. And General Offensive will play more of what he wanted me. Well, he might not play it, but he
Oh, I
gave
can
me.
get into that.
No,
I have the files.
no.
so
Please don't.
no, so he gave me a demo of to what to sing for the bridge, and so I went with that, but I had no voice. But I was like, I have to do something because there's a time limit and I have to just push through it. And one thing I think Jay can and Kyle can agree with me with this, like sometimes you just got to push through your vocals. Like you're going to be like,
Oh,
"Well,
yeah.
I don't feel great this day, but I got to just sing. It's just got to have to happen."
Yeah, you gotta power through it sometimes.
Exactly. So I'm gonna, cause I have no shame. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you one of the one of not you. It's not you. Not you, General Offensive. It's not you. Don't
You
worry.
can do that.
It's me. This is me singing.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can find it. Oh Lord. So this is me trying to sing the bridge and kind of failing, but I had to do it. Save me, save me
Please, afterwards, compare that to my version. It's not good.
So crackly, ouch, makes me cringe when I hear it myself. But
I had something just like that happen on one of the recent covers I did,
Mm.
and it was a case. It was like I did like a take, and I was like, nope, it happened again. Go back. Nope, it happened again. Go back. And I must have done that same one like 5 times. To the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep the first one at this point.
exactly, like, because I was just like, I kept doing it, and I was like, this is not coming out at all. So yeah, wowza, yeah, it hurt. So so I'm gonna show you another version because I had to do it twice, and I was like, okay, I'll try it again. And so this is what happened. With no one's left to with no one's left to save me now. Who is it we're fighting for inside this crazy firestorm? With no one's left to save the world, with no one's left to save me now. Save me now. Save me now. Oh. So hearing that was the fact.
How big are your lungs?
I know.
Honestly,
I
every time I
actually,
sing over that,
Woo!
It,
I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath just listening to it.
Uh-huh.
yeah, I am too, and it makes me cringe because I was sick and I could not sing.
no,
That was the
no, no.
no. But let me finish.
That
Let me
was
fi-
here's the
amazing.
final.
let me finish though with that. So I was sick, and I was like, I can only do this twice. So that high note is a B flat. And I was like, I can only do this twice. It's not gonna come out anymore. That first time was the second time of me trying it, and that was the first time. I was like, I was like, General Offensive, Tudd, you guys, please do something with this because I can't get it out anymore. I have no more voice. Thankfully now, I'll do a demonstration.
something.
I'm gonna go back a little bit. I'm not gonna sing into the mic because I'm
Ooh.
loud.
Wait,
Ooh,
To-
some live
To
vocals.
be
There you
honest,
go.
to be honest, wait. To be honest, I asked too much of you. I asked you for a like more rock perspective of the song, like when I send the demos and shit. But you just plowed through it. You just did it, like first try.
So I'm gonna try to attempt it. If I attempt it on live, it's there forever. So I'm gonna.
Oh
I
yeah!
support this.
All
I
right, so
support
we're
this.
gonna try this. We're gonna save me now. Save me now. Save me now. There we go. I got it out.
Ooh.
Amazing. That was incredible.
That's going in the VIP version of Spaceport.
We're gonna need
Yes.
this, yeah, boy.
Oh boy. Okay, thank the Lord I didn't crack. But see, if I wasn't sick, it would have sounded more like that. But
hey, just
See,
wait-
back
just
in the
wait till
day
you
when
get
I
the
asked you
final
how to
version.
get more range, that's more like what I was wanting.
listen, you can still. I'm not even gonna talk about that. You got the.
Yeah,
range,
no,
you
no.
got it.
It's just as just an aside. I'm just making
Yeah.
a joke. Go on.
But
yeah.
yeah. So with that, I was so amazed when Tudd and General Offensive showed me the final version because I was like, that's not me. Who is that? Because that's not my voice. I was like, that's not what came out of my throat
It is.
like a couple
We
months
barely
ago.
even modified it.
I was so amazed, and so I'm going to hand it over
Would you
to
mind-
Tudd and
yeah.
General Offensive, and thank you guys for listening to me sing and hearing all my raw vocals. I would never do that often, but I was
Hey, there's
like,
the voice crack.
yeah, there it goes.
Okay.
It's after it
It just came
happened.
late.
Had to sneak its way in there
It,
somewhere.
it has to. You guys will learn that my voice cracks all the time when I talk. So the fact that it didn't happen much until the end is a test to I'm like, okay, I was holding it in the whole time. But thank you guys.
Just goes to show. Practice. There
Yes,
you go.
exactly.
Makes perfect.
So I'm gonna give it over to Tudd and General Offensive. You guys take it away.
Thanks. So I'll briefly introduce my story just because it will be just fair to keep it even.
Okay.
just before I go into spaceport, because there's a lot to go into. But the funny thing is, I have no musical education or background as far as family goes, or a circle of friends that pushed me into it in real life. Everything that happened musically was online through connections and friends and people I met like this. And everything was because of a few games that inspired me when I was very easy to inspire, so like 10 years old or something like that. um, and yeah, I'm so thankful for the Sonic community being so openly creative, because that's definitely how I ended up here, through YouTube messages and comments and SoundCloud messages, when everything was really in its infancy. And I ended up here through a chain of reactions, just talking to people in comments and then through YouTube. And then suddenly I was in Misadventures and I met everyone like Zach and Alex, who is actually from the same country as me. And we just connected through a friend of a friend that said, "Oh, wait, you guys are from the same place. Wouldn't it be funny if you started talking?" And fast forward a couple years, we've been working together for so much time on so many things.
Can you do me a favor, Tudd? Can you get closer to your mic or turn yourself up a little bit?
Oh,
Turn
sure.
it up, get down.
Let me just do that briefly. It's gonna be noisy. How is this? Is this better?
Go a little bit. Go down a little bit. Just a little bit.
Oh
down.
no! Oh no! Okay.
No, lower.
You got a brick wall limiter. 'Cause you could do it.
How about that?
Okay.
Is this okay?
That's
No,
good.
no.
That's good. Yes. It's good.
How is this?
I think that's good. That's good.
Right. Sorry.
No, keep going.
And so about spaceport, because I do want to go into that. Me and Alex have been super ambitious all the time. We were trying to make so many albums based on things we were passionate about for years, and usually they crumble apart when we either have been working on it for too long or it doesn't live up to our expectations, because I think both of us are really perfectionists and we just can't stop working and trying to make everything as good as possible. And we were working on a Sonic Forces album that we were planning to release. We had so many demos and concepts, but um, we felt like we weren't gonna see it to the end. But we still had this one song, which was Spaceport, which kind of blossomed over a lot of hours of work to be bigger and better than I ever would have imagined when I made the first demo of the song. And yeah, that's when we called in Zach to help us out to actually finish the song and put it out with proper vocals and just the way it was meant to be heard. And with that, I'm gonna start up my stream and show you the early versions of the song in FL Studio, because I don't iterate too much on my music usually. I'm someone that just makes something in a day or two from start to finish, just power through it, and then call it a day. But this song has actually been through a lot.
Yeah, usually when we collaborate, we tend to kind of stretch the process too longer.
Yeah, things always get in the way. Either way, so please let me know if it's too loud or too quiet. You can always tell me, because I've not done this before on stream. But I've got 4 versions to talk about, and the first one was, I think, gosh, it's been like 2 years, because a year
Yeah.
before we contacted, maybe even 3 years.
Really?
But this was,
Wow.
yeah, right?
Yeah, it's been like 3 years.
I don't know when Sonic Forces came out.
I think it was 2017. Was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was, because for the longest
Yeah,
time,
it's 3
everyone
years.
was calling it
Mhm.
Project Sonic 2017.
Didn't it come
so-
out last week?
It doesn't feel like 3 years. That's definitely for sure. Wow.
Well, given how I
It
feel
does
about
not.
that game, it could have come out last week, and I'd still be just forgetful towards it.
Exactly.
I'm
Either
sorry,
way.
I'm very opinionated. about that game.
The song was nice, so we wanted to do something with it. And this was the first demo I made of it, which was straight up just transcribing the song. And I won't play the whole thing. There's three parts to it. First is the main, easily recognizable part, and then after that, instead of transcribing the rest of the song, I do what I usually do for remixes, and I record improv in the same key on the piano, and I quantize it because I want my remixes to go somewhere else musically. I want to put something original in it because I really enjoy composing and, I don't know, developing a song rather than just giving it a different face. So, without further ado, this is what we ended up with on the first try. I think just
Wow.
some quiet,
Ooh.
distorted chords and some basic drum and bass drums.
Mm.
Yeah, so really just a basic like feel. It wasn't anything crazy, and then I improvised two parts, which were totally different to the original song, but we developed a lot on them. Arpeggio, and then part two was this big kind of anime chords thing that I tend to do all the freaking time. Just the basic progression that every opening does, but just shuffle the chords around and try to
Ah, the
put
Royal
in.
Road.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh,
The
yeah.
old switcheroo.
So that was that. It was
Ah.
just that. I had a feeling for it, and then Alex sent me back his version, like I think a day or two later. You can see from
Yeah,
the
I
waveform, he took the anime part and just
Whoop.
he was like,
What's this?
That's something that I do with actually remixing songs because I'm a huge fan of post rock and prog rock, and I just want to stretch it out a little bit. Doesn't
I
hurt
mean,
anybody.
it was the second demo and it's 4 minutes long, so that kind of says something. But
Yeah, so
he was really onto something.
I try to actually add a few weird instrumentals in the background and
Guitars too. He did
yeah,
that.
trying yeah. Yeah, play.
He actually totally changed the progression for the next part.
Wow.
And then he developed both of my parts, which I was really surprised by because I usually make them just to throw them out, like, hey, maybe this sparks an idea. And he usually takes them forwards, which is what I like so much about working with someone else.
The section almost has like a liquid D&D feel to it. I like it.
Yeah, that's right. So the anime build-up is super long, but I'm gonna skip to the part where it actually explodes into like a big, powerful thing, because that was the idea he had from the beginning. I feel like and that's what we kept in the end as well. We just iterated on it a lot.
Wow.
Ooh. Really going ham.
What really gets me
That-
about the bridge compared to the chorus is just how it's like not only just the mood changes, the drum positions change everything, and I love that.
Yeah.
I just love that so much.
That's why I love collaborating with Tudd, because we're kind of in a. I don't know how to say it. I do something
Opposite.
and yeah, exactly. So he's like more of a chill funk dude, and then I'm more of a like post rock, post metal dude, and then we cancel each other out, and then hopefully we can create something that's I don't know how to say it, but like maybe in the middle of it.
It's like
Mhm.
I think the sum of the parts is greater than we
Yeah.
expect when we work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me how often I work alone and I feel like, I don't know, yeah, this is alright, and I work on a song for like 7 hours and it's fine. But then I work together with you, and so because of the flow of ideas, I put so much more effort into it, and you do as well, to the point where I don't know, most of my proudest songs are the ones I made with you. So it really says something.
Same dude.
Right, and then the next iteration was me being happy with his drums, but not happy enough to keep them. And that's a painful process when you work so much on something. And I know he gets emotional about the stuff he works on too. So every time I delete one of his recorded guitars or drum pattern, he's like, "No, that was my baby. I made that baby."
It's my baby. Well, everyone. Yeah, go on.
I spent like I think 2 days in even a separate edition of the project, gathering loops and trying to throw them together to remake everything. And in the end, these are the drums that I came up with, and they stayed in the final, and I'm really happy with them. You can hear he also did a different take on the guitars at my request, which are so good. In this part,
So, real quick, I have to say something
Mhm.
about these drums. I always call that drum rhythm the Powerpuff Girls drum rhythm because
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it always reminds me of that.
It's
The
just an amen break.
that aim and
The amen
break
break, yeah.
style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
And in this, actually, this version of the song is the longest. It goes on for 5 minutes
Oh wow.
and 10 seconds, which is a bit much. But we just had so many ideas, and Alex actually came up with a completely different part instead of the middle bridge we had before, which was this crazy, rough, electronic gent riff. Which
Yeah, gentle
I don't. I'll just
program
play
part.
it. I think it was here, but I might have to find it.
Yeah.
No. This is a new part as well.
Oh, it's here. Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, after this build
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I'm into this.
Oh, that's filthy. I love it.
Wow.
That's why we didn't want to include it because it breaks up the pace of the song.
That's got a very like Doom 2016 vibe to it.
It goes on. It just goes
Yeah,
on.
it is.
Please going. Please keep it going. I want to hear this all day. Wow.
I'm really tempted to scream over this, not gonna lie.
That's awesome.
It's a bit jarring, but we both were so in love with that part that it was hard to let it go. It's just, you have to learn to do that sometimes. And when the song is 5 minutes long, I don't know.
Can we
You
do
can't.
Yeah, you gotta sacrifice some parts.
There's
and-
that prog
I'm not
influence slipping through again.
I'm not gonna lie. Hearing that, I want to do a remix of a remix now.
I would
Exactly.
support this.
I'll send you the MP3. Just go on.
Please, that sounds cool. That was so cool. I didn't even that surprised me because I never heard that before in my life. That was I was
Yeah,
not
yeah.
expecting that. Okay, sorry.
If we weren't on a live stream, I was so tempted to just do some metal screams over that.
Oh my god.
So that was something. The last part as well, we made into this. Totally changed the drums again, the rhythms, the sounds, and this is what we ended up with, which is also in the final. Throughout this whole song, my CPU was crying for help. My RAM was not happy either. Probably the biggest project I ever worked on.
Literally.
I deleted his crazy hats. I know he was mad, but I had to.
I like the crazy hats.
I'm never mad.
Yeah, so that's that. And
It's
then
actually funny you mentioned the hats because we usually have, like, I don't want to say we're having a fight, but we're
I
having
can
a
say it.
conversation.
I've known you for years.
Well,
Fight.
we never have an actual fight, but we're like, oh, can you?
No, we
remove
just
the-
write in caps lock.
yeah, yeah, but we never actually get mad at each other, and that's, I think, the beauty of collabing because you never get mad at the person you're collabing with, and you kind of tend to let go of things that you might think that makes a song or something like that. But I think, like, throughout our years of collaboration, we've kind of learned how to
Yeah.
yeah, how to actually let go of it and like, oh, you don't like my hats? Well, meet them. And then we
It's
laugh
been a
at it.
process.
And then
Yeah.
we laugh about it at the end of the day.
I've made you stronger.
Yeah, same.
And I'd like to now at the end show the final mixed version with Zach on the vocals for the last part, because it's just something else. And people have commented on this on the actual upload of the song to YouTube, and just this ending to the song, although it has not that much to do with the
He-
original song, is just something
he
else.
knocked it out. I don't.
Well, before you do
Just
that,
play it.
before you do
Yeah.
that, can we hear Alex's version?
Oh yeah, I mean,
I want to hear this.
look, I
I've
got
never
it
heard
right here.
Alex sing.
Oh,
I got it
okay.
here.
Okay, wait. I was sick. I'm gonna use every excuse ever. I was sick.
Yeah, well, so was Zach for that one thing you showed us.
Yeah,
that's true,
Came
that's
out. Huh?
That's true.
Yeah, sure. Just okay.
No, listen. So Alex sent me this, and he said do something along the lines of this. So I mean, if you didn't send me this, I would have never gotten to the point of what we have today. So we have
Yeah,
to
it was
hear it.
crucial.
Yes.
Right. I mean, I'm sorry, but there we go.
Hey, can you throw some autotune on?
Should I put the autotune on really quick? Wait.
Oh yes,
No, honestly, it's not bad. It's
pick a
good.
vocal performance.
And the idea is so good.
I didn't even get second in this.
You sent me this, by the way.
I know.
2 days.
Please don't judge.
I want to hear more of this.
See, it
And
wasn't
everyone
bad
give
at
it up
all.
for Alex.
Say what you will, that was pretty
sorry.
sick.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Flo.
Yeah, it was quite sick.
I enjoyed that.
I did too.
You even mixed it in quiet because you were like, oh, no,
Nah,
it's
nah,
quite
nah.
bad.
Oh no.
Oh.
And when you send me like your new guitars, you literally turn the song to 10% volume and your guitars to 200% volume, but whatever.
Because well, you got me.
Now let's hear the final because that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
God, I love that.
That part, no. There's,
Oh, and it
there's no way.
fading out into the reverb tail
Yeah.
as well. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
We do that so often.
We actually joke about it.
Yeah.
How are we gonna end with a reverb?
Every time someone else does that, we're like, they stole from us. But anyway,
But no, actually, oh my god.
goosebumps from this part
When I
a couple
sent
of times.
my shitty part to him, I didn't expect him to just like, what? It's like a fucking 4 minute long of screaming. What?
So I'm gonna say I've already told Tudd and General Offensive this, but I'm gonna just say it to everybody in this group, just in general. When this came out, this was so random because I forgot I even did this. No offense to everybody, like no offense to the crew here, but I forgot I did this because there was so much else going on at the time, and I almost gave up on music. Fun fact on that, I almost gave up on the whole thing because I was just very tired because people were using me, and I felt used, and I just didn't feel like doing it anymore because I felt like my love for it was gone because a lot of people made me it was just a lot of things going on. I quit my band that I was working for 4 years, and then I was dealing with people underpaying me or not paying me at all for stuff that I was doing with their music, and I was already hard on myself, and I just was like, you know what, this is not making me happy anymore. I should probably just leave it alone for a while and just not deal with it because the people around me were just making me feel like crap whenever I was doing music. But when this came out, I was like, they messaged me saying, hey, you know this is coming out in like a week. I'm like, huh? What? I forgot I even did this. And no offense, like I had a lot of fun.
We forgot either.
I was just like, cause I didn't know when it was coming out, so I forgot that it was actually coming out, and it was my first song on Spotify. This was the first thing I ever had on streaming platforms. I was like, wow. And then I heard it, and like I said, I was like, what? Huh? Who's this person singing? Because that is not me. I don't know who that
That's
is.
you.
And,
That's you, Zach.
And
That's totally you.
me.
it really did not sound like me because I was like, I know I had a huge cold and none of those notes were coming out. So hearing all that, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys like you guys outdid yourself. Like I have so much to thank you guys because you both helped me get back into it. You gave me that.
You outdid yourself. I
Well,
remember asking you to.
We've
Actually,
all outdone ourselves.
yes.
What?
I just know that I was. If I didn't have you guys to be like message me at that point, I don't know if I would have been still as
Oh,
passionate
God.
with music as I am now without you guys. So I had to thank you guys for that. So, Josh,
I'm so happy.
yeah, I mean
you
everybody
say
in
that.
likewise.
everybody in this group has helped me get back into music in some point. Kyle helped me with the Alicia Keys cover. Jay has helped me so many times when we worked on different songs together. Josh helped me with Fist Bump. It was right after, right after my dad passed away. Josh helped me with Fist Bump and got me back into the music thing. So every one of you guys have helped me get back into it at a really rough point of my life. So I will appreciate you guys so much for that. So sorry, I don't want to
Yeah.
get too emotional, but I appreciate you guys so much. Music has helped us all get to the point where
Yeah.
we are right now.
So much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So sorry. So y'all keep going. Just so you know,
God.
I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. We're gonna try to end
Mhm.
this in the next 20 to 25 minutes if possible, because I know we have a lot
Right.
of people in different time zones and everything, so I know it's getting late. Real quick before Tudd or General Offensive goes to their next cover, I just want everybody to go off to say where they're not where they're from, but where, well, yeah, not where, you know what I mean. Don't say exactly your address, but just tell
Here's my longitude and
Coordinates?
latitude. Come find
Don't
me.
dox yourself.
so everybody tell the crew, well, whoever's watching, and thank you for the 19 to 20 people that are still watching. We appreciate you so much. And Perfect Chaos, the person who's over Sage in general, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to have this panel. We really truly appreciate it. I don't know if you're still in the chat right now, but we truly appreciate the opportunity, and hopefully we can do this next year, because I really want to do this again with having more people on the crew, and
Yeah.
and having us and having more people, because I know we all know so many great fantastic musicians that could have been a part of this, but because of the timing schedule it wasn't able to happen. But Charles, Noah, Garrett, there's so many other
Yeah.
people that we know that could be a part of this. Foz, Dante,
Yeah, gosh.
so
So
The
many
list is
friends.
the list
And
is
they're also
exhaustive.
talented.
yeah, they're also talented, and I would love to do this again next year if you're up for us doing that. Absolutely. Hey, cool. So that's a confirmation. We're gonna be doing this next year again.
Yeah.
So, but before we go into the last two covers, Jay, tell us where you're from.
I'm from Switzerland, which is in the middle of Europe. That's all I
Okay.
can say.
Kyle.
I am from England, which is no longer in Europe.
True that.
Josh.
No.
I am from Texas, from the United States.
Hey, and I am from Tennessee. All
Yeah.
right.
Can I say?
General Offensive,
You're the only
I'm
10 I'll
from
see.
Romania. Sadly.
and then Tudd.
I am also from Romania, but now I'm living between Switzerland and Romania in Austria. Lovely place.
Hey. And so I'll tell you this. Like I said, music brings people together. If it wasn't for music, we all wouldn't be friends. We all wouldn't have collaborated. We all wouldn't been able to do the stuff that we love. So
Right.
I think we all can thank music for bringing
Yeah,
us all together.
For sure.
And really, Sonic the Hedgehog, which is really cheesy to say, but that dang blue hedgehog
True.
brought us all together in
Yeah.
some form, and it's just awesome to have that. So sorry for interrupting. You guys take it away on your last two covers.
No worries. So much to thank. But yeah, such little time to thank everything. But I'm so thankful to all of this. And I'll finish up quickly, so I'll let Alex speak too. But throughout all of these projects I've been doing since the age of 11, because that's when I started making music.
Ooh,
Wow. And how old are
I
you now?
started. I'm 20 right now, so it's been
That's awesome.
9 years and a bit.
That's awesome.
So the way I started music was really stupid. I'll just say it because it's really funny. Basically, I really like YouTube poop music videos. like a lot.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like
Hey, gotta start
Trololo,
somewhere.
Rainbow Trololo, my stuff. And I went on Yahoo Answers and I was like, how can I make YouTube poop music videos? Please help. And just one person replied who was like, I don't know, try Fruity Loops. That could work. And I looked up Fruity Loops and I didn't know it was professional music software, but I got the trial anyway and started watching some videos, just threw some samples in. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But fast forward a couple of years and I was really enjoying it because I had so much passion for video game music because of the games I played, like the Sonic series, Jazz Jackrabbits 2, incredible game with such a good soundtrack, and GTA San Andreas, which is probably the reason
Yes,
I'm
dude.
so passionate about 80s and
Yo,
90s music.
that introduced me to a lot of my music taste as well. To be fair.
Yeah, God.
Such a great soundtrack. Sorry, go on.
I'm still playing it to this day on my PlayStation 2 over and
Oh,
over
you and me
just because
both, pal.
I love that game.
Sorry, just
so
as an
important
aside.
to me.
Just as an aside, which radio station
Mhm.
do you usually default?
I'm so torn between Radio X. I think that's the one I spend the most on, or
yeah.
CSR, because
Yeah.
the new Jack Swing is like, come on, man.
For me, it was always Radio X and KDST.
Yeah.
But anyway, off topic.
Understandable.
Sorry, as you were.
And now, after all of these side projects I've done and working on remixes, publishing them on Spotify with Charles and Cassie and Zach and Alex, in the end, I really want to compose for video games professionally, and that's what I've been trying to push. And this year, I just got. This is what I'm going to talk about briefly because it's really important to me. But I just got the opportunity to work with Headcanon Games on a little indie game that they've been making.
Oh,
Ooh.
congratulations! Congratulations, man.
Hey.
Thanks. And Headcanon Games, if you don't know, they're the guys that helped make Sonic Mania. You know,
Oh,
pretty big deal. With stealth and yeah, so I just got hit up on Twitter and they liked my music and I was like, well, yeah, you know where to contact me if you if you want to hire me.
give me
And
money.
just
Sorry.
this month at Sage was the reveal trailer for the game that I was a part of called Peer Pressure. And I'm gonna change screens really quick to show that reveal trailer because you can also hear my music in it. And I really want to tell the world about this game.
Okay, and I will turn down the music for this. Okay.
Alright, I hope you can see.
Yes.
And I hope you can also hear at a sensible volume. But here we go.
Wow.
That
Well,
sounds
that was
amazing.
That was incredible. What?
Thanks.
Oh. Whoa.
Oh.
But still, that.
I mean,
wow.
hey, I'll happily watch it again.
Same. That,
God,
wow.
thanks, guys.
Tudd, that's awesome. Congratulations on that. That was great.
Thank you so much. God, when I got this opportunity, I was jumping in my room for about a week and screaming.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine.
And I was terrified, but the game's coming out in less than a month, so I look forward to it. It's gonna be on
That's
Steam
incredible.
Hey,
and
awesome.
Linux. Thanks so much. So this game just gave me the opportunity to go all the way back to the arcade, old school, like FM Sega-inspired sound that raised me up, basically.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And before I pass it on to Alex, I'm gonna show you a sneak peek of another song from the game, inspired
Ooh.
by a game called Battle Garaga. It's an arcade shoot 'em up game, and the song sounds a little bit like this. I'm not gonna show all of it because you can hear that in the game, but here we go.
Oh, I love it already.
Same. Nice. Nice.
Piano.
Yeah.
Hey, nice.
Ah! That was, oh, sorry. That was a little too loud.
I have
No,
no.
that was great, Jay.
I have no words. That was incredible.
That was really cool.
God. Thank you
Definitely
so
hearing like all
much.
the like the FM influence in that, and all
Yeah.
the instruments. And whatnot. I love that. Like I said, when that like FM piano came in like the second sort of half of what you showed, yeah, I was like,
Mm.
I was surprised I didn't have to mute because I was bobbing that hard. My seat was just like making some weird noises. But that slapped, man. That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
The
I
one
wish you
chord
could
you
see
have-
my face.
There's the 4 chords at the start, and the
Mhm.
last one, the flat 2 chord. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's a really good choice.
Thank you. I think it was one of those shower ideas, and
Mhm.
then I just threw it
Oh,
in.
yeah.
You know how it is.
Listen, us
Yeah.
musicians will all say that a lot of our great ideas come from when you're in the shower. And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, I wish I had a recorder, like just like something in the shower. Whenever I'm like, I have an idea, I can push a button because I always lose it when I leave the shower. I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
gone.
right?
It's gone. It
You
makes me
should
mad.
take a recording in the shower. Just
Yeah.
you put your
have it
phone
in
on the
just have
washing
it in-
machine. Or...
Have it.
No!
Just have a little microphone in the shower head so you can actually sing into it. There you go.
There you
Oh,
go.
Yeah, I mean, it
God.
kind of looks like
Sorted.
a microphone.
I mean,
Exactly. Exactly. There you go.
Oh man.
So, just closing words. I know it's been a while, but I'm so grateful for everything that you guys have taken me through, the opportunities, the community, all the inspiration, because you all do inspire me. Even when we don't talk so much and the years pass, I just see you guys growing and developing, and everything you do inspires me to transcribe more, to maybe try singing, to pick up the guitar, which I swear I'm gonna do soon. I'm so mad. I wanna buy a Rocksmith and just play it until I get good. I'm gonna replace General Offensive. Okay, never mind.
No
Just a
way!
joke.
No way!
If you,
Too
listen,
many arguments.
Listen, if you do that, then General Offensive's gonna come over and actually fight you this time. He's gonna.
Yeah,
I know where you live, so.
he's not
There
that
will
far
be-
away.
There will be no caps lock to see. This time.
No, yeah, for sure. No, I'm never gonna replace him. He means a lot to me. And I'm working on another game that's on Sage this year called Project Butterfly, and I made the Jet Set Radio inspired soundtrack for it.
Ooh.
That's also really fun. I don't have time to show it, but you can check it out if you want. I will upload it to SoundCloud really soon, so I'll make it heard. And I also have a couple of other projects in the works, so hopefully you'll start hearing me in some games. And I'm so thankful for everything this community has led me through to get to this point and hopefully to go even further.
Hey.
Hell yeah, man.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tudd. And now we got the last, but certainly not least, Mr. General Offensive. Come on now. Take us home.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
There you are.
Okay.
Hi.
Oh god, my internet went down for a couple of seconds. Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm General Offensive. I'm a Romanian-based musician, and let's see. I kind of started off like my first kind of when I realized music is music was when I heard that opening of Sonic Adventure.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
boy, that one was doozy for me. So that's when I kind of realized that there are drums, there are guitars, there is a bass. What? So I was kind of uh, I don't know how to say it, but it was like the starting point of my kind of music career. I was like, Mom, I want a guitar. And Mom was like, no. And I was like, so I got a guitar, but it was a long journey. And I started making demos online and learning how to do music productions. And the first collaboration was with Joshua, actually.
Oh,
That
that was
was
your
my-
first as well.
Yeah, that's my first collaboration. I was like, I can make music with another person. What is this? How does that work? So I did that. Then afterwards, I was featured on Benjamin Briggs, who is part of Game Chop's. I don't know how to say it. I mean, he does music by himself, but he's really a big part of like video game remixing and composing community. And I did a remix of his song, and he loved it. So I got to be featured on his album, and that kind of gave me a huge boost.
Hmm.
So over the time, I released an EP and several remixes, and I started collaborating with Jayhan and Zachary and Tudd. Tudd was like the second dude who I did collaborations with. So I've actually done a couple of songs lately that I can't really talk about it. Might be related to what Tudd has been saying until now. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember
but-
I remember Hard Reset.
yeah,
You guys
that-
remember that? Wow.
Oh, so whoa.
It's been
that was-
ages. I was
Yeah.
like 15. Jesus.
Actually, that was like our first argument over
Yeah,
a
of course.
stupid drum beat because
Yeah.
okay. I don't have an example of that, but I was basically like tu tu ta 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 ta. That was my drum beat. I was like,
And
no,
I
it's
did
so simple.
the Powerpuff beat. That's what I did.
Yeah, and at the end we didn't release anything. But it was so funny because we kind of learned from our mistakes and collaboration and stuff like that. So I think I'm okay. So I was like 3 years ago. I was invited into Game Chops to do a song because of Benjamin Briggs to do a remix of Flying Battery. So usually my demos don't quite sound like the finished product because I go through a
That's-
lot of iterations.
That's why they're demos. That's
Well,
what you
yeah,
mean.
of course, yeah. But I go through certain iterations and I suddenly tend to change the whole shift of the song into another so
All right.
sometimes I would do like electronica remix and then I'm like, no, let's just do a metal version of it.
Do you want me to
So
start
it's
playing
like-
it?
If you have the Flying Battery demo, yeah.
The Flying Battery demo playing right now.
So at this point, kind of sounds bad because I was focusing on the first part. No. No. You ain't getting that. So okay, that was a demo. I did. But then
I never felt so betrayed by a drop.
There you go.
yeah. Well that was a disappointment. But that's kind of where I started to base the demo on. Of course the drop wasn't what what was expected, but I guess the actual remix, I tried to change a few things, add few more glitches in the drums, and actually this one has a solo from Joshua as well at the end.
Hey.
Yes, that was fun.
So,
Do you want to go ahead and play it?
so yeah, but before that, I wanted to say that I started to throw in some heavy guitars. I don't know if they're audible, but at the end they should be. So that was kind of my shift from like 4-on-4 kind of house beat to more of a genty vibe at the end. So yeah, yeah, you can play it.
Okay. Here we go. Oh God. No, it's fine. Your first demo was so quiet, so I turned it up. I was like, oh, okay. my.
Fuck.
What?
Thank you so much.
See what we were talking about? How something starts from one thing and then how it goes to another. Like, how do you go from that demo to what you have? That's crazy. That was so cool.
I will never replace you ever.
Like,
I know where you live.
listen. That demo was great, but what you did,
Thanks so much.
what in the golly.
So much. Well, the thing is that I kind of put so much focus on like sound design, on weird sounds. So like if you listen throughout the song, it's like that, like that really high pitched kind of an nerving sound.
Yeah, yeah.
So I tend to do that a lot. I tend to actually base my songs not on musical theory, but rather on song design most of the time,
Hmm.
in trying to kind of one up myself every time. So I haven't prepared it, but I had a demo where when you press your finger onto a guitar, the oh my god, Joshua, help me out. The thing that
Harmonics?
no, the thing that you plug into your guitar, the cable, yeah.
Oh, the buzz, the
Yeah,
Oh,
hum.
like the
yeah, and it does a hum. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
that's actually an A sharp, but it's kind of above an A sharp, something like that.
uh-huh.
So I kind of used it to make a bass because I was too lazy to make my own bass. So sometimes
Hey, that works.
sometimes the limitations can help you to actually create a fresh sound if you combine it with amplifiers and beat crushers and v- tons of reverbs and stuff like that. So that could be
I never thought about because it's those little subtleties in like those kind of styles of songs that really bring out like something else in them. I never really thought about looking at it from more of a sound design perspective, more so than like a musical perspective. That's kind of opened my eyes as that. I've never thought about that before. That's cool.
it's just music is so open ended. It really is. Like,
Honestly.
it's just like you'll learn something each day. Like I mean I think we can all say we've learned a lot. Just us just being in this panel together. Like we've learned a lot from each
Yeah.
other that we
Yeah.
thought we knew, but did not. And it's just, that's what's really
Yeah.
cool about this. Like I feel like we all got a learning experience throughout this. So,
yeah,
um,
definitely.
General, do you have anything else to add or?
Well, not really. I had two more songs, but I don't think.
Well, how about this? You can. How about you end it on one more song of your choice? You don't have to
Hmm.
talk about it if you don't want to, but if you just want to like just play a song out, you can definitely do
Oh,
that.
okay.
And then what we'll do, we'll ask the 14 people that are still in there, which we thank you so much for being still after 3 hours being a part of this. Still, we really truly appreciate it. If anybody has any other questions to ask after the last song, we'll answer them. But we'll probably, if not, we'll call this panel a success and go on our ways.
Sounds good.
All right, Alex.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna have to share my screen,
Or you can send it
but
to me, whatever you want to do.
oh yeah, I think it would be easier to
Okay.
send it to you. While I do that, I'm gonna talk about that. Wait. Hopefully, yep.
Okay.
Does it work?
Yeah, you sent it to
Yeah.
me. Yes. Okay.
Okay, so the thing about this song is that I actually about the cable thing. There's gonna be a like wow 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 wow. That thing was the guitar pedal left on the ground, so it makes like a buzzing noise, but it's not like if you put your finger on it.
Mm.
So it, I kind of like that running through a wah pedal,
Okay.
and the dubs, like the dubsteppy things, but actually that sample pitched down and ran through like two amplifiers, if I can recall correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. So at the end, actually, so like this song for me is really important because I've kind of had an idea of my identity, where I was like, okay, I'm doing electronica music, but I also let my post rock influences going through. And at the end, I have like a really choppy part with the guitars, and I kind of did something like I had an arpeggio that was really short, but then as the song goes on, it gets longer and longer. So I don't know how to explain, but maybe you can hear it at the end of the song. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, I think it stopped. Hello?
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That
Did
was...
I hear the Korg noise in there? Like from what plays at the beginning of the speed up track from Sonic Adventure? Like
No, that
I
was
swear I heard that in there. I must have misheard it then.
no,
That's
that was like
perfect.
a pig scrape
Ah, right.
with some LFO on it.
Wow. Well, that was great. I like that the breakdown at the end. Dun 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 dun. I like that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh man. Anything else you would like to add, General?
No.
Okay. Well, if everybody can get off mute real quick.
What up?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
me.
So I just want to do just final thoughts real quick. Just just to wrap it all up. I'll start off real quick, but I just want to say thank you all for being a part of this. The audience and the panel itself. This was my first time ever streaming, and for the most part, it went really well. And I'm really happy to have these 5 other people with me. We, like I said, I think we've all learned a lot today, and I hope,
Yeah.
and I truly hope that whoever was in the stream watching us, you guys learned something. And the biggest thing I want to take out of all of this is that don't feel like you can't do something. I always say to at least try, because what is gonna hurt you from not trying? Like, what's gonna hurt you from trying? Like, if you learn that it's like, okay, music's not your thing, it's not, like, you can still enjoy it. nobody's ever going to tell you, unless they're just horrible people, which unfortunately there are horrible people out there. But most musicians, most people will tell you to go for that goal if you have it.
Absolutely.
And music is always, there's going to be something new. The best players will always be like, I can still learn something. Those are the best players in life. Those are the best singers. You can always learn something. You can always adapt, and you can always try to be better. Because the best will always be like, I can do better. I can learn something new to excel myself better. And at that same time, those people should be the ones to help you out too. Music should be a learning experience for all, and it should be a collaborative experience, because the only way for you to get better is to work with other people as well. Like I know that without these people that I'm talking to right now, I wouldn't be doing the stream. I wouldn't be even talking about Sonic the way I do. I wouldn't be, even talking about harmonies or stuff the way that I do. I wouldn't have been able to get the job of being a band director for 4 years if it wasn't for, this crew of people. A lot of the musicians that I know. There are so many talented people that are still up and coming. They're still they're working just as hard as the people that you see on television or on the radio. There are so many people that are just as talented as them, and they just haven't had their shot yet. But they're still trying every single day. And that's what I want everybody here to know, is that you should just keep trying. And if you don't think it's for you, then that's fine. You can still enjoy the music and still support people. Because the biggest thing is always supporting each other. A share, a tweet, just any of that will help these musicians keep going and getting their stuff out there, because that's one of the biggest things that's one of the hardest things for up and coming musicians and artists, is that it's hard to get our stuff out there. So those supporters, those people that help stream, share their stuff, help so much. I'm not gonna.
It's very easy to get disheartened, but even just having one person be like, "Hey, that was great," or just even having a couple of likes on a tweet or something like that goes a lot further than you'd think.
Exactly. Exactly. And Jay, do you have anything to add?
Actually, real quick, Zach, you should
Yeah.
consider a career in motivational speaking.
I think we all know that I can talk the talk, but I cannot walk the walk with that. So, but I truly do appreciate that. And I mean, my biggest thing, well, not biggest thing. I said that 18 times now, but my thing is, it's I love supporting people. That's one of my favorite things to do, is support people who are trying their hardest to do something. That's why you see me in a bunch of comments on YouTube or on Twitter or on Instagram. I'm always supporting fellow musicians or fellow artists or fellow anything, because we're all trying to get somewhere. We're all fighting that fight. And if we can't support each other, then then what are you doing? That's not right. We should always support each other. So that's my thing to everybody, is that support each other. If you have a question, ask one of us on Twitter or Twitter or YouTube. I'm sure that we can, it might take a second, but we'll try to come back and answer your questions. And if you want to commission us to do something, I'm sure that we all would be down to do that one day. And a lot of the stuff that you heard today was stuff that we were asked to do, or collaborations, because it shows that you don't have to always do this by yourself. A lot of the hard work you will have to do by yourself, but you can always ask somebody to help you out. So.
And once you manage to overcome something that's been bothering you for a while, especially in that regard, it's so rewarding.
It really is. I think that Tudd and General Offensive can be those people to say that, they helped each other, and now they're kind of a duo. The stuff that they touch, the music that they touch becomes the magic.
Yeah.
It just becomes
Turns to
magic.
gold.
So
Yeah.
I mean, and you guys are like, I hope you don't think I'm offending you by saying you guys are a duo, but you guys are like a really
No,
cool
no, no.
duo. And I truly do love the stuff that you come out. I mean, and Kyle, I love all
But-
the covers that he comes out with. The freaking the production value that he puts on his stuff is amazing. Jay, you already know how much I think you're just the most inspirational person that I've ever met in my life. Like you have been through so much, but you keep a smile on your face and you keep going, and that just makes me want to keep going too, because you're so talented, and the stuff that keeps happening for you, I know there's good for you. And Josh, you are one of the most talented people that I know. The stuff that you just come up with every single day, and I know that sometimes you can be hard on yourself, but I already know there's so much good that's going to be happening for you as well, because someone's going to be like, I need somebody to tell me what this is and what that is, and you're going to be there to do that so quickly. Every
Thank
single
you.
person in this group is amazing. And I'm glad that we were able to have this panel to showcase that music and hopefully inspire the people that are in this chat right now. So I'm gonna stop
I want
talking.
a group hug right now. I want a group hug right now.
I wanted to.
Virtual group hug.
Oh, guys, come over. Let's do it.
And Perfect Chaos said Jay and Kyle made the perfect English dreams come true rendition, which is very true. If anybody else has anything, I'm going to stop talking because I'm talking too much. So if anybody else has anything else to say or any questions, please go ahead.
Just that Zach put a lot of effort into organizing this, so I
Yes.
really
Yup.
deserves
Thank you
so
so
much
Yes.
praise, supporting us all along the way with what we're doing. I mean, Zach, you are an amazing person. You are so caring, so thoughtful, and you put others before yourself. And there's not enough people like you, Zach. So
Agreed.
thank you.
Agreed.
Oh, y'all are so nice.
every single time I've been down in the dumps, especially in regards to music, you've 9 times out of 10 been the one to come over and just be like, "Hey, stop that," and pull me out of that rut. And I don't know how you do it, but it's amazing, and I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for me, especially as far as my own confidence with music goes. So thank you
Same.
very much.
Same.
Oh, Lord, y'all are too much. You know what we
Real
need to do?
wholesome hours.
You know what we need to do? After this call, after like a couple of days later, we should all get into something. We have a bunch of people. We need to do a song. We need to come up with a song.
We
need
can
to
do a mega collab.
We need to
Yeah.
do a few. We need to do a huge collab.
Megalovania!
Oh my god. But seriously though, we have 6 people here. We need to make something. Oh my gosh, is that coming into the chat? I can't
I'm
do-
sorry.
No,
That's
you're
not
fine. No,
actually
you're
good.
fine. But I think we should definitely I think I'm gonna just go ahead and just manifest it. You guys look out for a cover for all 6 of us coming in the near future, okay?
Oh yeah.
It's official now.
It's official now. It's happening. But
It's on the internet. It's official.
but if anybody has nothing else to say, I think we're gonna end this stream. Thank you all for being a part of this. Hopefully we can do this again next year. I will definitely start doing more streams because this has been fun. No matter how nerve-wracking it has been, it's been a lot of fun. So I'm gonna, if we all want to just say bye-bye, we're gonna just go and say bye then.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you all.
Perfect.
I'll talk to you all
Thank you all
later.
for coming.
Bye everyone.
Bye bye.
See ya.